Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Thursday, August 7th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash up $ ORION NWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Chicago White Sox versus the Seattle Mariners. Looking for the sweep. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Thursday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, Luis Robert Jr. And on the right, our center fielder stud, Julio Rodriguez. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Chicago White Sox. Leading off for the White Sox at DH, Mike Tauchman. Batting second, playing second base, Lennon Sosa. Batting third, playing left field, Andrew Benintendi. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, center fielder, Luis Robert Jr. Batting fifth, playing shortstop, Colson Montgomery. Batting sixth, playing first base, Curtis Mead. Batting seventh, catching today for Chicago, Edgar Cuero. Batting eighth, playing third base, Brooks Baldwin. And batting ninth, playing right field, Michael Taylor. And on the mound for the White Sox with a 3-7 record and ERA of 4.25, it is Shane Smith. And now let's get into the starting lineups for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners in left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting second, DHing for Seattle this afternoon, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting third, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman, Josh Naylor. Batting fifth, third baseman, good vibes only, Eugenio Suarez. Batting sixth, playing second base, Jorge Polanco. Batting seventh, catching today for the Mariners, Mitch Garver. Batting eighth, playing right field, Dominic Canzone. And batting ninth, ice water in his veins, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. And on the mound for the Mariners with a 3-4 record, an ERA of 3.45, it's Walter, a.k.a. Logan Gilbert. Hopefully we can get a solid 6 innings out of Logan. And again, we've won the series already, but we're looking for the brooms and we're looking for the sweep. Try dance up. Let's go M's. Josh in the building, what's good? Cody in the building, what's good? All day in the building, what's good? Hope you're having a good day as well. A little bit earlier of a broadcast, obviously with a rubber match in the afternoon. And again, it's a pretty short slate. There's only 4 games on today, so again, we want to make sure we're getting the job done and there's no days off. And then we end up hosting the Tampa Bay Rays starting tomorrow. So another team that we can't take for granted. And again, if they punch you in the mouth early, we just got to be able to hope that we can punch back. And luckily, after the All-Star break, we've definitely been on point. But it also helps of getting the 2 top 4 at the trade deadline in Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez. They definitely have made a huge difference, not only on the vibes, in the dugout and the fan base, but the actual production by adding those 2 guys offensively and defensively to the lineup. It almost feels like a night and day difference And again, it's not going to be easy the rest of the way, but again, we definitely have the talent to get the job done. First pitch is going to be here in roughly just a few moments. And shout out to all the new subs that we've been acquiring. We hit the 21,300 number. We gained almost 25 subs just yesterday, which is great. We're at 21,307. 93 to go to get 21,400. Shout out to all the people that have subbed recently and in 2025.
Against former world champion Liz Carmouche. Don't miss the action tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Get all my screen settled in here. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Thursday. And we're going to be shooting for obviously 20 likes within the first hour, 50 at the halfway point, and 100 on the likes and 100 on the dono train. And we've been hitting, roughly 125 to 150, on the likes pretty regularly. But again, with a matchup a little bit earlier in the afternoon, again, we'll just shoot for 100 and 100 and see where we go from there. And if we hit those goals, then we go up to 125 and then 150. Top of the first inning, MLB Network Global Broadcast. Logan Gilbert on the mound, and DHing, leading off, Mike Talkman.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go, baby. And hopefully we can get started off on a fast note. All right, first pitch from Logan Gilbert to Mike Talkman. Takes a strike swinging high and away. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. High and away with the four-seam fastball. No balls and 2 strikes to Mike Talkman. Hopefully we can get somewhere in that 7 to 10 range in Ks for Logan Gilbert. But four-seam fastball wheeling and dealing here early. 95, 96 miles an hour with the first 2 pitches. And hopefully we can get a punch out on the first batter here. 0-2 pitch. Low and at the knees with the slider. 88 miles an hour to Mike Talkman. 1 ball and 2 strikes here in the top of the first. 0-0 here early between the White Sox and the Mariners. We've already won the series, winning the first 2 games, but we are looking for the brooms, and we're looking for the sweep. We won 3 out of 4 against the Rangers, and we want 3 out of 3 against the White Sox. 1-2 pitch, and Talkman pops up and flies out to right. Dominic Canzone in the area, 1 away. Next up for Logan Gilbert, second baseman, a guy that has been very good for the White Sox. Maybe not very well known like Luis Robert Jr., but don't let the name fool you, Lennon Sosa. First pitch from Gilbert to Sosa. Four-seam fastball low and away. 96 miles an hour. Good velocity there from Logan. 1-0 count. Painted the corner pretty beautifully, but doesn't get the call. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the first inning. Global broadcast on MLB Network. 0-0 here early. Cody in the building, Josh in the building, R in the building, Denny in the building, Cole in the building, Cool Kid in the building, all day in the building. What's good? 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Sosa. Magic number for the Mariners will be 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And obviously we're going to need at least a minimum of 1 home run, but preferably 2 or more to give us a solid chance to be able to get the victory here today. Not to say that we can't win if we get no home runs and we get, 5, 6, 7 RBIs, but that's not really in our repertoire. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. Splitter missing the strike zone by inches by Logan Gilbert. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Sosa. 4-seam fastball, back-to-back sliders, and they decided to go with the splitter. And it'll be interesting to see what kind of pitches Logan has cooked up for his batters here this Thursday afternoon. And in previous years, we were not very good in the morning and afternoon, but now we're one of the best teams in the morning and afternoon, thank God. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. Down goes Lennon Sosa, one of their best players. Nice job by Logan Gilbert, getting that electricity early with his first punch out. Nice job. 2 away. Next up for Logan Gilbert, the former Boston Red Sox, left fielder Andrew Benintendi. Let's go, Logan. First pitch from Gilbert to Benintendi, foul off high and away, a 1 count. One more like away from 20. Off to a good start. 0-1 pitch. Low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Benintendi. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Benintendi. Top of the first. Nobody on with 2 outs. Gilbert with a punch out so far, and hopefully he'll be able to get in that 7 to 10 range before he exits. And he hasn't been going as deep this year. Obviously missed the first half of the season. And again, ERA and record aren't really where they need to be. And he has been going typically about 5 innings. So we'll see if he can go 6. And the only really guy that's been going 6 all year is Wu. But hopefully he doesn't give up a whole lot of home runs. And we want Logan to give up 3 runs or less, but preferably just 1 or 2 if possible. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees with the splitter, missing the strike zone by a few inches there. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Gilbert on the mound, Benintendi in the box. 2-2 pitch. And Benintendi strikes out looking. Here we go. 2 punch outs in the first inning, and that's exactly what we wanted to see out of Logan Gilbert. Great job, Logan. Let's go to the bottom of the first inning. You didn't give up any hits, RBIs, or home run. Fantastic job. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Leading off for the Mariners in left field, Randy Arozarena. And it feels like he's overdue for a home run or some doubles. So hopefully we get some singles, doubles, and home runs out of Randy here today. And again, we've been waiting on him. Maybe today is the day. If not today, obviously we know he'll bring it versus the Tampa Bay Rays, right? His former team. It's going to be a special series for Randy, obviously starting tomorrow. So we'll see if he's got anything in the tank today before he plays his former team. Batting second, DHing today, another guy that's been a little bit behind the 8 ball, but hopefully can get on the board with a home run or some singles and doubles. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh. We would love to be able to have home run number 43 today. And batting third, one of the best players since the All-Star break, not only on just the Mariners, but overall in MLB. And it is a great sight to see. We've had some struggles in March and April. He had a fantastic May, not the greatest June, and then started to try to figure it out a little bit in July. And now we're in August, and he's wheeling and dealing. It is J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. Trident's up. Let's go, J-Rod. And on the mound for the White Sox with a 3-7 record, ERA of 4.25, Shane Smith. So nothing really too big to worry about, from the White Sox, pitching standpoint. Now, if they would have had, a pitcher like Garrett Crochet still on the White Sox, then that would be someone to kind of be concerned about. But since he's no longer on the team, yes, we do understand that they have been one of the hotter teams, since the All-Star break. Yes, we understand they've been scoring about 6 runs a game, but it hasn't affected the Mariners in our first 2 wins. First pitch from Shane Smith to Randy Arozarena. Takes a strike looking with the sinker, 97 miles an hour right down the middle, 0-1 count. Chris in the building, Steve in the building. What's good? 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss for Randy Arozarena right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Smith to Arozarena. 0-2 pitch. Low and away. Changeup hitting the corner, but just outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Smith to Arozarena. And again, we want to make sure we're limiting the damage early, and hopefully we are the team that gets off to the fast start. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And this has been kind of a pattern for Randy as of late, but I know that he'll be able to break out of it either later today or starting with the Rays tomorrow. 1 away. Batting second, DHing here for Seattle this afternoon, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. First pitch to Cal, takes a strike swinging, low and at the knees, 0-1 count. Hopefully we can see Cal be a little bit more patient in the box. You know, him and Randy are pressing a little bit. And obviously that'll happen when you start to see, you know, everyone around you having success and you feel like you're not pulling your weight, even though those guys did pull their weight and some, you know, in the first half of the season. And again, it's really hard to be consistent in baseball for 6 months straight. You're going to go through peaks and valleys. You're going to go through the ups and the downs. 0-1 pitch in play. Raleigh grounds out. Nope. Fouls out to third. And that is 2 away. Would like to be able to see Randy and Cal work the count a little bit longer. You know, they've been getting out within the first 3 pitches pretty often. I want to see them go 5 pitches deeper or deeper. And that might be the perfect pitch they're looking for to be able to go yard or with a big double. Next up for the Mariners in the 3-hole, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. And you don't really have anything to complain about with Julio as of late. He's been absolutely fantastic. And again, we're going to need that. You know, since Randy and Cal were so good at the beginning of the year, you know, it's time for the others that struggled at the beginning, Julio, to pick up the slack. First pitch from Smith to Julio Rodriguez. Takes a strike looking high and away with the sinker. 98 miles an hour by Shane Smith. 0-1 count. Gained 2 subs already. Appreciate you and all the new subs that we've been acquiring on the daily. 91 to go to get to 21,400. 0-1 pitch, and Julio grounds out to the pitcher, throw to first, and that is out number 3. Way too quick of an inning, you know, obviously for the Mariners there, but we'll see how, you know, the game progresses and if they can work the count, you know, maybe in the future innings. End of the first, global broadcast on MLB Network, 0-0 here early between the White Sox and the Mariners. Leading off for the White Sox, cleanup hitter, center fielder, Luis Robert Jr. Batting second in the 5-hole, shortstop Colson Montgomery. And batting third, first baseman in the 6-hole, Curtis Mead. On the mound for the Mariners, 3-4 record, 3.45 ERA. It's Walter, a.k.a. Logan Gilbert. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Dave in the building. What's good, brother? Yeah, you guys got a day off today, and if we win today, I believe we get to 1.5. And again, it feels like the teams are kind of going in different directions, where we're starting to peak, and you guys are just trying to hang on. And again, we know how good Houston typically is in the second half of season. You know, they can start slow and get really hot. You know, at the end of the year, we've seen it year after year after year, and it should be a doozy, you know, as we get towards, you know, the late part of the year. One thing is for sure, we should be able to see both Houston and Seattle in the playoffs, as well as Detroit and a few others. And again, we'll find out, obviously, the Toronto Blue Jays are in, and then we'll see between the Yankees and Red Sox, you know, how that all kind of turns out, especially with Judge returning. That should definitely help New York quite a bit, even though they've had some pitching woes this year. First pitch from Logan Gilbert to Luis Robert Jr. Fouls it off right down the middle. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Fouls off right down the middle, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Logan Gilbert to Luis Robert Jr. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes and 100 on the dono train. O2 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Gilbert on the mound, Luis Robert Jr. in the box. One-two pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Luis Robert Jr. Maria in the building. How are you? 2-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the second inning. Global broadcast here on MLB Network between the Sox and the Mariners. .32, 18 more to get to the halfway point. Great job, my guy. 2-2 pitch, high and inside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Luis Robert Jr. Now, I'm not really sure if I would use on fire for a guy that's batting .219 with 12 homers. You know, there's actually guys that have been better, than Luis Robert Jr. He'll always be the most popular player and the guy that's always on the trade deadline. But guys like Lennon Sosa have been much better than Luis Robert Jr. if you're actually watching the games. And Luis Robert Jr. with a 8-pitch walk. Next up is shortstop Colson Montgomery. Logan Gilbert with a rare walk there to Luis Robert Jr. And hopefully we'll be able to get a double play here, or a strikeout and then a double play. We'll see where it goes. First pitch from Logan Gilbert to Colson Montgomery. Fouls it off right down the middle. A 1 count. I appreciate that, William. You're not going to get a broadcast for baseball anywhere on YouTube like this. And again, a lot of hard work, time, energy, being put in with these streams. And I appreciate the kind words. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Montgomery. Yeah, a lot of injuries for the Stros, as well. Not having Jeremy Pena lately with the ribs, and Yordan Alvarez with the wrist, almost being out for a majority of the year. Bregman and Tucker are no longer on the team. So again, it's pretty much been Altuve with a bunch of other guys, and trying to get them up to his level. And for the most part, you guys have been able to do a good job this year, which is no surprise. I mean, you guys have been a good team for quite some time. 0-1 pitch, and we have a throwing error there, and Luis Robert Jr. makes his way to second base. Come on, Gilbert. 1-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Montgomery. But it's anybody's, division overall, American League to win. Astros, Mariners, Blue Jays, Tigers. We assume it's going to be one of those 4 teams. Yeah, the Yankees and Red Sox might be able to get in, but they're definitely not on the same level as the Astros, Mariners, Tigers, and Blue Jays at this moment. But again, if you get hot at the right time, anybody can beat anyone on any given day. That is big facts. 1-2 pitch. Fouled off, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Montgomery. 1-2 pitch. Low and away with the splitter, missing the strike zone by a few inches there. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Montgomery. Let's go, Logan. Keep wheeling and dealing. Find a way. Settle in. Gilbert on the mound. Colson Montgomery in the box. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Colson Montgomery. Nice punch out there for Logan. 1 away. Nice job there. Here we go, baby. I like it. And hopefully we can get somewhere in that 7 to 10K range for Logan. He hasn't been able to pitch as deep in 2025 since he had the injury in the first half of the season. He's going usually about 5 innings or 5 2/3 or something of that nature. But, really the only pitcher has gone 6, like I mentioned, or deeper is Brian Wu. But obviously his 2025 season almost is an anomaly. First pitch from Gilbert to Meade. Fouls it off right down the middle. 0-1 count. Arthur in the building. What's good? Top of the second inning, 0-0, White Sox and Mariners. Global broadcast here on MLB Network. Gilbert on the mound, Meade in the box. Mariners won Game 1 and Game 2, so we've already won the series, but we're looking for the sweep. We're trying to get the brooms, and we got the Tampa Bay Rays, which is another team that you can't take for granted. You got to earn every win. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Meade. And again, we ended up having a firm control of Game 1 with an 8-1 lead, but then we brought in Legomena and Kolar. Luis Robert Jr. had a late cheap home run, and they made it 8-3. And again, it would have been nice to see Wu go a little bit deeper. And then we won yesterday 8-6. But again, the White Sox are a team that, they may not have a good record, but they've been very good, after the All-Star break. And again, averaging about 6 runs a game. Didn't do it in Game 1, but they did it yesterday. And there is out number 2 on Meade. 2 away. Next up is catcher in the 7-hole, Edgar Cueto. First pitch from Gilbert to Cueto. Fouls it off right down the middle. 0-1 count. Top of the second inning with a runner at second with 2 outs. And obviously we don't need to worry about a double play now with 2. We're just going to try to get the punch out here on Cueto. 0-1 pitch. Fouls it off high and away. Good start here for Logan Gilbert with a 0-2 count. 1 more strike, and we can get another punch out here for Walter. Yeah, and even though Shane Smith's record isn't very good, he's got the stuff. So I wouldn't be shocked if we get a few punch outs, from his end as well. 0-2 pitch in play, and Cueto grounds out to first, toe tap on the bag, and that is out number 3. Now, and even if we had one of the players, just Naylor or just Gino, it would be, we'd be through the roof. We're on cloud 9, right? But to actually get both of them and having them both be teammates, and one of them used to be a Seattle Mariner just a couple years ago, it's like the perfect storm, and again, Buster Olney and a lot of the MLB quote-unquote experts, they think that we have the best team in the American League, even though we may not have the best record. But if you're just looking at the roster top to bottom, starting pitching, bullpen, guys that are going to be coming back shortly, Bryce Miller, Victor Robles, on top of all the new hitters that we've acquired and guys in the pen, it's really just about getting the job done and hoping that we can make a deep run here in 2025. And we got a bright future, not only this year, but for the next 5 to 10 to 15 years. And again, I know a lot of us have been waiting for this because we've only really had 4 good years in the last 40. So it feels good to be able to maybe put out a good product, and maybe we can be one of those teams that actually makes the playoffs every year for like a 3-4 year stretch, or maybe even longer one day. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning and see who's up next for the Mariners. And I feel pretty good about what we got going here. Next up, first baseman, Josh Naylor, a guy that can get singles, a guy that can get home runs, but nobody told me that he was going to be a stolen base extraordinaire, but that's what we're getting, and I absolutely love it, Josh Naylor. He's rocking the different Jordan cleats in every game. He is a sneakerhead. He doesn't really smile too much, but, Mariner fans, as long as he's producing, we don't mind. Batting second, good vibes only, third baseman, Eugenio Suarez. And again, he finally got his first home run in a Seattle Mariner uniform in 2025, and definitely that won't be the last. Let's go, Gino. Good vibes only. And batting third, flipping back and forth from DH and second base. Today, playing second, Jorge Polanco. Tridents up. Let's go, M's. And on the mound for the White Sox, again, 3-7 record, ERA of 4.25. Record, obviously, you would assume he's not a good pitcher, but again, sometimes you don't get run support and you take the L. But he definitely has some pretty good stuff. Pitching normally 95 to 98, unless it's off speed. So we'll see what we get when we go in about the fourth or fifth inning and we do a breakdown between both pitchers. Yeah, hopefully we can re-sign Naylor and Gino, and we can find a way to get both of those guys back on the team, because it could really change kind of the dynamic. We had Tyler Locklear, but we obviously traded him away, a part of one of those deals. So, and Tyler Locklear would have been like kind of a baby Ty France, but nowhere near the talent of Naylor. So I'm really hoping that we can find a way to get both of them back on the team. First pitch from Smith to Naylor. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. Jordan in the building. What's good, brother? Good to see you. 0-1 pitch. Low and at the knees with the curveball by Shane Smith. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the second inning. We're knotted up at 0 here early. 1-1 pitch. Low and away with the changeup. 2 balls and 1 strike from Smith to Naylor. And, again, I know Gino obviously is going to be, the guy that people are probably the most excited about between him and Naylor. But Naylor has been more consistent than Gino up to this point. And, again, the stolen bags, the defense at first. Gino's defense has slightly gone down from the time where he was on the Mariners. Still, an okay defender. Maybe not a top 10 third baseman anymore. But he'll still make some top 10 plays from time to time. 2-1 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Smith to Naylor. Chris in the building, what's good? Tridents up, let's go Adams. Let's go, baby. Two-two pitch, and big swing and a miss by Naylor. Nice punch out there by Shane Smith. And that is 1 away. Shane trying to bring that electricity for the White Sox to prevent the sweep. I see you. 1 away. And hopefully Naylor will be able to get something going in his later at-bats, which I figure he will. Next up in the 5-hole, third baseman, good vibes only, Eugenio Suarez. He can do it with his good vibes. He can do it in the box. He can also do it at third base. Let's go, Gino. First pitch from Smith to Gino. Low and away with the sinker, 97 miles an hour by Shane Smith. 1-0 count. Tridents up. What's good, brother? What's good? We got you guys tomorrow. And again, I would assume a really big series for Randy starting tomorrow. I'm not really sure if he will be able to do anything today. I'm hoping, but again, playing against his former team, I expect some big singles, doubles, stolen bags, and home runs in that series starting tomorrow. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike swinging, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Eugenio Suarez. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Smith to Suarez. Sinker, curve, and 4-seam so far by Smith. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 4-seam fastball missing the strike zone by a few inches. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Smith to Suarez. Yeah, nice to be able to get a little bit of football, going. We're getting very close to, obviously, the regular season for the NFL as well as college football. 2-2 pitch, and big swing and a miss by Gino. Shane Smith starting to get a little bit of momentum. 2 away. striking out back-to-back, Naylor and Gino. Batting third, second baseman, Jorge Polanco. First pitch from Smith to Polo, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes and 100 on the dono train. And we've gained a few subs already, which is great. 6 already today, which is awesome. Shout out to the 6 new subs we've acquired already. 88 to go to get to 21,400. 2-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 3 balls and no strikes from Smith to Polo. Let's see if we can get a walk here for Polo and we can get on a little bit of a rally. We're 3 likes away from 50. We got at least 80 or 90 people in the room that haven't hit the like button yet. Do your boy a solid. Help us get to 100 and it'll help our numbers overall. We need 1 more like to get to 50 and we're at our halfway point. 3-0 pitch and there's the walk. Polo goes to first. Next up, filling in for Cal Raleigh at catcher today, Mitch Garver. First pitch from Shane Smith to Mitch Garver, high and away with a 4-seam fastball. Good velocity there, 95 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Let him know, Jordan. Bottom of the second inning with a runner at first. MLB Network Global Broadcast, and then it's a pretty light day with only 4 games total for the MLB, and then they'll get a full slate of games starting tomorrow. .0 pitch in play, and look at that, a guy that doesn't play every day, Mitch Garver with a nice single to left, Polo to second. We're very good with 2 outs, and again, even guys that you really don't normally have a whole lot of faith in can still end up making a play. Nice job by Garver. Batting next, right fielder in the 8-hole, going down 1 spot from his traditional 7-hole spot, right fielder Dominic Canzone. On deck, in the 9-hole, normally 8-hole hitter, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Obviously, Cole Young with the day off. Let's go, Dom. First pitch from Shane Smith to Dominic Canzone. Curveball, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Let's go, baby. We can take a Dom bomb right here and go up 3-0. What do you say? .0 pitch. Takes a strike swinging, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at first and second and 2 outs. I mean, for me, it's Ken Griffey Jr. because I met him. And I met his dad, when I was, 7 years old when he was a rookie. So to be able to get photos with Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr., to get the memorabilia, the rookie card signed, and, for him to take the time to spell out every name or every letter in his name. Some autographs are pretty sloppy nowadays where you just see like initials and a number. And it really meant a lot that he took the time to talk to me and to be able to, fully sign his name in, an artistic way instead of just rushing through it. And that definitely stuck with me. But love Griffey, love Randy Johnson, love Edgar, love Ichiro, love Cal, love Julio. I mean, there's a lot of guys on the team from back then until now. And even, role players, like Bones, Jay Buhner, right? John Olerud. Nelson Cruz, Raul Ibanez. I mean, I can go on and on and on. Felix Hernandez, Kyle Seager. It doesn't really ever end. But obviously, there's going to be some that are higher on that list than others. 2-1 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Smith to Canzone. 2-2 pitch, high and away with the curveball. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, runners at first and second, and 2 outs. Let's see if Dom can end up getting a single, double, or home run to put us on the board. 56 likes, 44 more to get to a hundo. And Canzone strikes out for out number 3. Unfortunately, we leave a couple stranded, but at least we got a couple guys on, and sometimes that's what happens in baseball. But I'll tell you, man, you know, when you're 7 years old and you end up meeting someone that you know is going to be a Hall of Famer, you know, even before they played a game, you know, following him in the farm and all of the hype surrounding him, it almost feels like it was yesterday, you know, and I can remember that moment clearly in my head. I'm 43. I was 7 when I met him. And, you know, again, I had a few different options, you know, for cards for him to sign, but I've always liked the old school junk wax era, you know, of the Don Russ and the rated rookie. I always thought he looked like a pimp in this particular card. So, and again, you can't get any better with the blue ink. And, you know, a couple years later, I ended up meeting my dad's hero, Sandy Koufax, you know, one of the best left-handed pitchers of all time, obviously with Steve Carlton and Randy Johnson, the big unit. And when you end up meeting, you know, your own hero, you know, obviously Ken Griffey Jr. and my dad, and then I get to share this moment with my dad and, you know, Sandy Koufax 3 years later when I'm 10, you know, we still try to go to games even to this day. And again, it's one of those things that it definitely sticks with you forever. And, you know, out of anybody like in my school or in this particular area, I was really the only one that was lucky enough to meet Griffey, you know, at that time period. And again, you know, if I didn't meet, you know, Griffey and Sandy Koufax when I was 7 and 10, you know, who knows? Maybe I'm not here today. So it definitely had a big positive impact on my life. Top of the third inning, 0-0, White Sox and Mariners. Let's see who's up next here for Logan Gilbert. Leading off in the 8-hole this inning, third baseman Brooks Baldwin. Batting second, right fielder in the 9-hole, Michael Taylor. And back at the top of the order, batting third, leading off, DHing Mike Tauchman. First pitch from Gilbert to Baldwin, big swing and a miss, high and away. Four-seam fastball, on point, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away with the splitter, missing the strike zone by inches. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Baldwin. One pitch, fouled off, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Baldwin. Oh, man. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, obviously, Alvin Davis, you have to be old enough to remember him. You know, so obviously, if you're, you know, 40 and up or, you know, 38 and up, you know, obviously you might have some memories of that. 1-2 pitch, and Baldwin strikes out swinging. There we go, baby. 1 away. But again, Alvin would definitely be one of those special players that doesn't really get as much recognition. Now, if Alvin played a little bit more, you know, deeper, you know, into the 90s and was, you know, on that same level with those teams, you know, with Griffey and whatnot, and maybe rather than being more known in the 80s, you know, maybe the pub and the recognition would be higher. But that definitely is a good choice for one of the more underrated players for the Seattle Mariners that doesn't get the recognition. Hell, he might be the number 1 guy if we're really being honest. But again, a lot of younger, you know, individuals don't really remember him or didn't get a chance to watch him unless you're, you know, maybe 38, 40 and up. So first pitch from Gilbert to Taylor, takes a strike swinging right down the middle, 0-1 count. Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, and again, you know, just doing those little things, you know, definitely made a big difference. You know, I always was into cards and, you know, toys and different things. I'm a big collector, but, you know, taking the time to be able to make that happen, pretty fucking special. 0-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the third inning, 0-0, White Sox and Mariners. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Taylor. And it was crazy too, because in that Sandy Koufax card show, here in the Pacific Northwest, Willie Mays was supposed to show up and he canceled. So I would have, got a Willie Mays autograph and would have met him if he didn't back out. But I remember that as well. But I mean, we were already there only for Koufax, but it would have been cool to be able to, get a handshake from Willie Mays. And, it's not like I would have been a Giant fan, but it still would have been cool to meet one of the best players that has ever played. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Taylor. So far, we got a pitching duel, but I do imagine at some point the game will open up. Yeah, and the thing about Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. as well, such class acts, so polite, so soft-spoken, honest, real. They always have that saying, real recognizes real. And there's a reason why Ken Griffey Jr. is the way that he is, because of his dad and his family. Great upbringing. 2-2 pitch, and Taylor strikes out looking, 2 away. Absolutely remember Joey Cora. Next up for the White Sox, leading off DH, Mike Tauchman. But I got a lot of memories, from 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, and again, when a lot of other kids might have just been playing with toys and, maybe doing the video game thing or, just watching cartoons, I've always been highly fascinated with, sports and wrestling and, obviously collecting and whatnot. And, it definitely was a special time period if you grew up in that era with me. First pitch from Gilbert to Tauchman. Takes a strike swinging, low and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away, missing the strike zone by inches there. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Tauchman. 1-1 pitch, low and away. Should have been called a strike. It's in the box, but doesn't get the call. 2 balls and 1 strike from Gilbert to Tauchman, and that's probably the first bad call that we've seen so far. So the umping has been much better in this particular series against the White Sox than we've seen, maybe on our road trips, within the last few months. 2-1 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Tauchman. Let's go. Halfway there to get to 10. Big Lou in the building. What's good? 2-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour by Logan Gilbert. Top of the 3rd inning. It's been a pitcher's duel so far, but, we definitely feel that the bats will open up at some point, whether that means we have to wait for Shane Smith and Logan Gilbert to exit, and then we go on a sprint for the last 3 innings. But also we have to pray that, we end up having good bullpen pitching. We may not see, Brash or Bizzardo or Munoz today. So if that means that we're going to see like Vargas or like a Legomina, type of pitcher, Kowar, we better pray that we have a lead of 1-3. Otherwise, it could be disaster waiting in the wings. 2-2 pitch, low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Tauchman. Yeah, absolutely very cool. And it's funny you say that. I don't have a whole lot of Ken Griffey Jr. stuff when he was on the White Sox briefly, and then obviously he was on the Reds for a longer period of time. 3-2 pitch, and good eye there, and that is a walk for Tauchman. But I do have one McFarland figure still in the box when he's in a Reds uniform, and the majority of the other stuff is, obviously in a Mariner uniform. And I got all the starting lineups, back from 1989 to obviously 2000 when the deal with starting lineup in MLB ended. And then McFarland, who did Spawn Comic, picked it up for 2001, and they're still making figures to this day. And they ended up buying the licensing for baseball, basketball, football, hockey, NASCAR, and then other things that you may have seen like Walking Dead and Ozzy Osbourne and some of these other Spawn figures. And again, collecting cards was always a big thing for me, but also, figures as well. First pitch from Gilbert to Sosa. Low and away, 1-0 count as Tauchman ends up stealing second. Pitch was low in the dirt, and there was no, late throw attempt, but no chance to get Talkman there from Mitch Garver. But definitely a big Griffey guy, big Randy Johnson guy, big Edgar guy, big Ichiro guy. Obviously, love me some Julio and Cal as well. 1-0 pitch, and in play, grounds out to third, throw to first, and that is out number 3. And a little bit different, of a start in this matchup between both teams, but it is earlier in the day. Obviously, we've already won the series, so I'm not sure if the sense of urgency is still, as high as maybe those first 2 games. But I still wouldn't be shocked, if the bats heat up and we still end up getting the 4 or 5 runs before the game is over. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 3rd inning and let's get on the fucking board. Hit a home run or get back-to-back hits for possible an RBI. Only a 1 hit for the Mariners and an error. No hits for the White Sox. Logan Gilbert's got a no-hitter so far. Next up for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 3rd, 9-hole hitter today, ice water in his veins, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a K, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And batting third, DHing today, big dumper Cal Raleigh, 0 for 1, and hopefully we'll get home run number 43 today. Trident's up, let's go M's. Yeah, and some of the McFarlands are worth a lot of money. If you go back and look when they first came out in 2001, some of those early football sets are worth some pretty good money. They've had some different variations with like chase figures that are a little bit more rare. Tom Brady's snow base, back again against the Raiders in that famous matchup, with the tuck rule. Usually that one will go for $400, $500, $600. I got a Ken Griffey Jr. chase variant that's supposed to be, in a Reds uniform, but I got the Mariner variant, and it comes with stunner shades. He's got an earring, and it even comes with a piece of the wall. So he's like scaling the wall to climb and rob a home run. And that one usually is $250 to $350. So again, some of the figures, on that particular line, if you got a rare one, there's some money involved. I got a Jerry Rice chase, figure as well when he was on the Raiders when they played Tampa Bay, in the early 2000s. In 2002, I got a Niner variant, and that one's usually worth about $150 to $200. So, there are, some money, involved in some of these sports figures. You just have to know which ones to buy or collect if you were able to get them early on. First pitch from Smith to JP, fouls it off right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle again by J.P. Crawford. No balls and 2 strikes from Smith to J.P. 0-2 pitch, and J.P. with a beautiful single right up the middle. And it definitely feels like he's having fun again. And again, to go from being the leadoff hitter, they bring in Victor Robles, you go down to the 9, you feel a little sorry for yourself, your ego's a little bit bruised. Then you go back up to the 1 since Victor got hurt, and then now you have to go back down to the 8, and you're playing the 9 today. But again, JP is starting to figure it out. Nice job, JP, with that single up the middle. Next up is Randy Arozarena. Let's see if we can get Randy on with a walk. He obviously gets plunked the most, taking over that role for Ty France since he's on the Twins now. And again, we know Randy can get singles, doubles, and home runs, but also he packs a punch with a lot of strikeouts looking and swinging. We do play his former team, the Rays, tomorrow. So I know he's already looking ahead and thinking about that game, but hopefully we can get at least a hit today out of Randy out of his 4 or 5 at-bats, especially leading off. I mean, the whole purpose of putting Randy there is that he would be better than JP leading off after JP had a string of 0 for 4, 0 for 5 days, and that's definitely unacceptable if you're a leadoff hitter. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Smith to Randy Arozarena. One-two pitch, fouled off, right down the middle with the changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Smith to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. Shane Smith on the mound, wheeling and dealing, doing a good job so far. And Randy Arozarena in the box. Come on, Randy. You're overdue. We're looking for, the singles. But again, doubles and home runs. We know you can do it. He just has to be able to work the count. And right now he's going to be on his 5th pitch. 1-2 pitch. Pitch is low and away. Good eye by Randy. Normally he would have swung at that early in the season. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Smith to Arozarena. Bottom of the 3rd, runner at first. 0-0 score with no outs. 2-2 pitch. Low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Smith to Arozarena. And it wouldn't even really bother me if Randy took the walk here. I know guys that are talented, want to be able to swing, but let's see what we get here. Randy, he connects. 3-2, back, see ya. And just like I said, these guys are overdue. And he says, I'm going to homer before we even get to Tampa Bay. 2-0 Mariners. Way to bring the electricity, Randy. And again, a guy that has been overdue for quite some time. Nice to be able to get that home run right fucking there. Nice job, Randy Arozarena. Fuck yeah. And that's exactly what we needed. It felt like this could be the inning that we could get on the board. And there it is. Randy with a big 2-run blast. Line drive into left field, 380 feet. And nice job by JP getting that single. So that way it ends up being 2-0 instead of 1-0. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Let's go. This team is so much fun to watch, man. It's like no matter who it is, everyone is a home run threat. Even the guys at the bottom of the order. And again, I haven't seen a team this talented top to bottom since 2001. Very exciting. All right, next up is Big Dumper Cal Raleigh, another guy that has been a little bit behind the 8 ball, like we mentioned, like Randy, before the game started. And Randy did his job. Can we get Cal to do his? First pitch, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees with the curveball. 2 balls and no strikes from Shane Smith to Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. We're looking for home run number 43. Let's go, baby. Trident's up. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. Let's fucking go, baby. We're at 75 likes. We need 25 more to get to the goal, to get to a hundo. And we have about half of the people in the room that have hit that like button. There's at least 80 or 90 in the room that haven't done it. Do your boy a solid and help us hit some good numbers here today. 2-1 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Smith to Big Dumper. Let's go, baby. Trident's up. And it was just a matter of time before we ended up, roughing up Smith. And obviously he's got a pretty good skill set, even though his win-loss record and his ERA aren't really the greatest. But, he's been pretty solid up to that point besides the Randy 2-run blast. 2-2 pitch, and big swing and a miss for Big Dumper, and that is 1 away. And hopefully we'll be able to get Cal to not press so hard. A lot of pressure on him, to be able to maximize, every at-bat for a home run. But again, besides the home runs, we still need you to get singles and doubles. And maybe he's just trying to go for those moonshot swings like Julio, and we'll see where it goes. First pitch to Julio Rodriguez, and back, and popped up, and flied out to center. And that was a way too fast at-bat for Julio. 2 away. Next up, first baseman Josh Naylor, 0 for 1 with a K. And we knew he could get singles and doubles and home runs, but again, no one told us that he was going to be a stolen base extraordinaire. And it's not even stealing, from first to second. He's even going from second to third. And I'm not really sure if we had that, slated for, him coming to the team, but it's definitely a bright surprise. And he's not getting thrown out. He actually is pretty light-footed for being a bigger guy. He may not be as big as Rowdy Tellez, but he can definitely move. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 2-0 Mariners with a 2-run blast by Randy Arozarena. And he obviously knows the Tampa Bay Rays series starts tomorrow. So what a better way to get yourself introduced, to the Tampa Bay Rays by homering in the game before you play them. And that's a good sign because we already know Randy's going to play well against his former team. But if you can do it one game before, we might be able to get a home run out of Randy first game against Tampa Bay instead of waiting until the second or third. Great job by Randy. Let's go. Right hands up. Let's go, M's. And Naylor talking to the ump here with an 0-2 count. Kind of a wild swing on that last at-bat for Naylor. O2 pitch. In play. And grounded out to second. Throw to first. And that is out number 3. And, that's kind of typical in baseball. You would love a rally to keep continuing after a big home run. But sometimes, the next batter or the next 2 batters get out. And it is what it is. But at this point, we have no complaints. 2-0 Mariner lead. End of the third inning, 2-0 Seattle. You the man, Randy. Great job. And you've been overdue. So I'm really happy it finally happened here today. And again, we pay so close attention to every batter. So we really know when the last time that they've homered and kind of their tendencies. And we'll definitely pick that up quite a bit here on the NWSF. Let's go to the top of the 4th inning with a 2-0 Mariner lead. We're loving it. We've already won the series, but we're looking for the sweep. Next up, in the 3-hole, 0-for-1 with a K, left fielder Andrew Benintendi. Batting second, center fielder 0-for-0 with a base on ball, center fielder Luis Robert Jr. And batting third, 0-for-1 with a K, shortstop Colson Montgomery. Tridents up, let's go M's. Let's go, baby. And we're still looking for our first dono on our dono train, but we're getting closer to the 100-like dono goal. Obviously, we're still a little bit behind the 8 ball there, but we should be able to get the likes, and we definitely have been gaining some ground on the sub goal as well. Gain another sub. $87 to go to get to 21,400. True, Brian. A 60 home run catcher obviously is great, but I'm not even sure if you're going to even get to that number. But even just getting somewhere between 50 and 59, again, he already had 38 before the break, so it's not like he's going to match that and get 76, by the end of the year. And more than likely, probably won't even hit 60 unless he gets 2 home runs in a game a few times and also hits homers in consecutive games and kind of gets into a rally like he did in the first half of the season. But again, he will break the record, which is 48 by Salvador Perez. But, how many home runs will he break the record by? Maybe he beats it by 10 and gets like 58, but again, we just want him to be healthy. And again, we don't want him to be able to get so many outs by just trying to get home runs on every swing. We still are going to need singles and doubles and having him get on base with an occasional walk here and there as well. Obviously the home runs are great, but again, we don't want just home run swings. We want to make sure that we're, moving guys over and helping the team out. 2-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Benintendi. I mean, when you start off with 38, the 30-40 home runs is great, but he already did that in the first half of the season. We still are hoping that we can get, at least a minimum of 20 homers in the second half of the season. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Benintendi. And plus, catchers don't put up numbers typically like that. Those are normally done by, people that play in the outfield or, obviously in the infield, but not typically catchers. I mean, unless we're talking about guys like Johnny Bench, from back in the day, or Mike Piazza. It's a little bit different here in 2025, or, Pudge Rodriguez. 2-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Benintendi. Let him know. All it takes is that first one, and then we'll get another. 2-2 pitch, in play, and Benintendi flies out all the way back to the wall, 1 away. Next up is center fielder Louise Robert Jr. Great catch by Julio Rodriguez in the outfield. No fly zone, baby. Good defense out there in the no-fly zone. I see you. First pitch from Gilbert to Louise Robert Jr. Takes a strike swinging low and at the knees. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees with the curveball. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Louise Robert Jr. Yeah, you can definitely tell he's struggling. You know, it's not the same type of confidence, swagger. You know, after winning the home run derby and playing in the All-Star game, there's been a little bit of a stall, you know, with everything. But again, you know, bringing in good players to surround him should be less pressure on him if it was just him and Julio. You know, obviously, if it was just still him and Julio, you know, maybe we're not seeing the same type of Julio this quickly, even though he is a 300 hitter after the All-Star break every year that he's played. You know, starting from 2022, but maybe Julio and Cal would be pressing a little bit more to try to put the team on the back. And to be able to have Naylor and Gino with this team, you should be able to see at some point everyone feeling comfortable and no one really pressing anymore. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Louise Robert Jr. Shout out to all the new subs that we've acquired, not only today, but in 2025. Appreciate you guys very, very much. Top of the 4th inning, global broadcast on MLB Network. 2-0 Mariner lead with a 2-run blast by Randy Arozarena in the left field. And again, it feels good to be able to see, you know, people that are overdue, you know, for a big single, double, RBI, or home run, get the job done. And nothing sweeter than a home run. 2-2 pitch, high and away. Count now was full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Louise Robert Jr. Now, and I remember, you know, being younger, you know, praying for days like this, where we actually had a team that was watchable, that actually was a contender, you know, and not only that, you know, a World Series contender. And the last time that we were a World Series contender was 2001, Ichiro's rookie year. And we're in 2025, you know, 24 years to be able to manufacture a team this good. And, you know, hopefully we don't take it for granted, and I don't think we will. We just got to hope that Bryce Miller and Victor Robles are healthy when they come back. I know Bryce Miller has got a pitching start with the Tacoma Rainiers tonight. I probably will, you know, tune in a little bit to watch to see how he does. And then Victor Robles is a little bit ahead of schedule, slated for the beginning of September, but we might see him at the end of this month. And again, if that happens, again, probably one of the best lineups in baseball, 1 through 9, obviously taking over Dom in right field. And Julio diving and missing. And a big, big double there. Good effort by Julio. Again, normally you're not going to see Julio Superman and dive. And again, you know, when you miss, it typically ends up being a double or a triple. But I like the effort, because a lot of times in, you know, the early part of the year, Julio would have just let that bounce, and then he would have tried to go from there, and he missed it, you know, by an inch. Now, if he would have fully extended and jumped, you know, maybe he got that. But, you know, just kind of put the mitt low and, you know, missed it by a few inches. But I still like the effort by Julio Rodriguez. First pitch from Gilbert to Montgomery, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Monkey Kung Fu in the building. What's good? hopefully we get some people in the room that will be able to support the brand. Every single dollar that's donated, you're not only supporting, someone that's on YouTube, you're supporting a dream. And again, you are dream supporters. And again, only the basics need to be done. So that way the internet bill can be paid, the streaming bill can be paid, and I can take care of my pup. Just the basics to continue the dream every single day for the rest of my life. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes from Gilbert to Montgomery. Kevin in the building, what's good? Dancing Dog in the building, what's good? Monkey Kung Fu in the building, what's good? Top of the 4th inning, 2-run blast by Randy Arozarena, who we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast was overdue for a homer, and he delivers. And really the only other individual that we're kind of waiting to kind of get off the schneid, so to speak, is Cal Raleigh to be able to get home run number 43. But again, it may take a few more games, also the right pitcher, throwing to him. And it's not like they're intentionally walking him like Bonds. So it's not like that. So he's getting frustrated in that matter, but a little bit of a hangover since winning the home run derby and playing in the All-Star game. He has hit a couple, since then, but still not on the, record-breaking pace of 38 that he was on in the first half of the season, but still possible that he gets to 50 to 58, before the season ends, unless he gets incredibly hot where he might be able to get to 60, but definitely needs to pick up the pace. 3-1 pitch. Low and away, and that is a walk. Montgomery to first. Next up is first baseman Curtis Mead. And it's not like I, have been doing this just, for a couple months. I've been doing this for 13 years. This is my 9th year on YouTube. Next year will be 14 years and 10 years on YouTube. And I've already been full-time for 3-4 years. So maybe 3-4 years ahead of schedule. But again, it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of effort, with the thumbnails and the broadcast, producing the show on my own and doing live play-by-play and color and vibing in the chat. But I also got a great group of people that support this channel, and appreciate you guys very, very much. First pitch from Gilbert to Mead, low and away, 1-0 count. You're starting to see Gilbert get a little bit on the edge right now. We got to make sure that we get out of this. 1-0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. We need a double play desperately. Slow dribbler hit between second and third. A little flip to second, throw to first, and we need to find a way to get out of this inning. Either a strikeout and a pop-up, or maybe a double play. Let's go. Because if not, this is going to end up being a 2-1 or 2-2 game in a matter of moments. Appreciate you, Monkey Kung Fu. 2-0 pitch, in play, popped up, and Mead flies out to right, and that is 2 away. And again, without people like this, the dream doesn't happen. And again, a lot of times people are waiting for someone else to get the job started. But again, sometimes you got to be able to be the person that sets the tone. And I'm just blessed to be able to have people like Monkey Kung Fu that can support the brand like this. And hopefully this will lead to a few other people in the room that maybe were considering donating. It doesn't have to obviously be this much, but every dollar counts. Appreciate you very, very much. And again, we hit our initial goal just by Monkey Kung Fu. Let's see if we can get to the secondary goal of 200. Stacks, racks, with a little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Let me know what you want to do for photos, and I got you. Appreciate you very, very much. End of the top of the 4th inning there by Cuero, and we end up getting out of the inning unscathed. Nice job by Logan Gilbert. Anytime you got runners at first and second or second and third, you get a little nervous, but a little slow dribbler to Gilbert, a little underhand throw to Naylor, and we got out of the inning unscathed. Nice job by Logan Gilbert. Go to the bottom of the 4th inning, good vibes only, and see who's up next. 0 for 1 with a K, Eugenio Suarez. Let's go, Gino. Batting second, 0 for 0 with a base on ball. Second baseman today, Jorge Polanco. And batting third, 1 for 1, catcher today for Seattle, Mitch Garver. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. let's go through the stats for the pitchers at this point. We're about halfway through. Logan Gilbert, 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 3 walks, which is a little unusual. 5 Ks, 77 pitches, 47 strikes. He normally is a 5-inning pitcher this year, not necessarily 6. 3.28 ERA, but he's out on 1 hitter. So far, so good. I mean, the 3 walks is a little high for him, but again, we have a 2-0 lead. And then let's look at Shane Smith. 3-7 record coming in with a 4.25 ERA. 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, 49 pitches, 31 strikes. 2-0 Mariner lead with a 2-run blast by Randy Arozarena. Try dance up. Let's go, M's. Zaytoven, appreciate you with a $5 holla, and every dollar counts, and I appreciate that very, very much. Zaytoven with his first dono to the channel. Stacks, racks with a little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. So for anyone that's new to the stream, anyone that donates anything, whether it be $1 or $1,300, which is the record for a solo donation, I can throw up HD 4K photos, of your favorite thing, favorite player. It doesn't even necessarily have to be baseball related. It could be a band, it could be a rapper, it could be a singer, it could be baseball, basketball, football, hockey, wrestling, you name it. But most of the time people will typically do, based on what sport we're doing. So if we're doing a baseball stream, most of the, people will do something baseball related, unless it's something that means something to them, whether it be a location, a vacation spot, a winery, a brewery, something of that nature as well. Everything on that end is acceptable. Bottom of the 4th inning, 2-0 Mariners. Smith on the mound, Gino in the box. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Smith to Eugenio Suarez. Let's go, baby. Gino in the box and Shane Smith on the mound. And again, there's a lot of, I don't want to say there's a lot of people. There's a few people, that stream, relatively every day. You'll see, Dodgers and Yankees, but I'm the only one that does Mariners through and through. But if you end up seeing what other people do compared to what we do here, it's completely different. You're not going to see anyone do it the way that we do it here. And down he goes, 1 away. Hopefully Gino will be able to get something going and his next at bat. Next up is Jorge Polanco. First pitch from Smith to Polo. Low and at the knees. Probably should have been called a strike there by Shane Smith, but doesn't get the call. 1 ball and no strikes from Smith to Polo. Ten more likes to hit the goal. Let's get there, baby. And again, we still have about 60 or 70 people in the room that haven't hit the like button yet. And then once we get to 100, we can hit the next goal of 125. And then if we hit 125 likes, well, then we'll shoot for 150. 1-0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes with nobody on and 1 out. 2-0 Mariner lead. I mean, there's a lot of effort. People don't realize how difficult it is to be able to produce a show on your own with no one else linked into your stream, to be able to do the photos and to be able to multitask and be able to watch the game, call the game, look at multiple screens and still keep up with everything that's going on. And giving you HD 4K photos of all the players, which you're not going to see anywhere else either. And if you end up seeing something like that, you know where they got it from. 2-1 pitch in play, and Polo singles to right. There we go, baby. Nice job by Jorge Polanco. Love it. Next up for the Mariners, 1-for-1, Mitch Garver. Nice job by Polo. Keep it going, baby. Bottom of the 4th inning, runner at first, Polo. 2-0 lead with a Randy Arozarena 2-run blast to left field. And again, Mitch Garver up now on deck. Dominic Canzone. And it's nothing wrong with other streamers, having people just look at them during the whole stream. But I feel it's good to be able to see kind of the faces of the players, especially if you don't have access to the game, and it gives you an opportunity to be more familiar with not only your favorite team, whether that's the Seattle Mariners, the White Sox, or someone else, but every stream that we do, it's not going to be just Mariners. It's going to be Mariners and whoever we're playing. And it gives us a chance to get educated on all the other players in the league. So that way we can be a little bit more well-rounded and not as biased. And that's really the whole point of the channel. You know, there's so many people that have these false narratives where it's just about fake news, you know, and fake arguments. And again, it's really about greatness. And, you know, greatness is one of those things that doesn't matter, you know, where you're playing. If you're great, you know, you're great. That's just what it is. And we want to make sure we're appreciating greatness no matter what team they're on. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Smith to Garber. But anything photo-wise for the two of you, if you want anything, let me know, and I got you. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss for Mitch Garber, and that is strike 3, 2 away. Nice punch out there for Shane Smith. Again, it hasn't really gone the way that he wanted up to this point, but it's not like he's given up 5 runs. You know, he's only given up that 2-run blast, but we're only in the 4th. We still got a couple innings to go before they take him out, so there's still time for the Mariners to do damage to get him to exit in the 5th if we're lucky. Next up for the Mariners, Dominic Canzone, 0 for 1 with a K. First pitch for Shane Smith to Dominic Canzone. Fouls it off right down the middle, 0-1 count. They haven't mentioned anything on the broadcast at this point until they'll come up to bat. And then I imagine they'll mention something, but hopefully it's just something minor, you know, with Naylor. Solano will be in to obviously get his at-bat, and then I imagine they'll go in more depth on what the issue is. So 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Smith to Canzone. One pitch, takes a strike looking low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Buckethead. Okay. You never know what kind of bucket hats that they're going to do for giveaways. And obviously doing a lot of the Funko Pops, you know, for Ichiro. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. A bunch of Leonardo Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle hats there in the crowd in that particular section. Tino and Pete Carroll, good choices. I got you. Always love me some Tino Martinez. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Smith to Canzone. Bottom of the 4th inning with a runner at first and 2 outs. 2-0 Mariner lead with a 2-run blast by Randy Arozarena. And again, it's been kind of slim pickings. You know, the Mariners have got 4 hits. Luckily, we end up having a 2-run blast out of those 4. And we've been able to hold the White Sox to just a hit for a team that's been averaging 6 runs a game since the All-Star break. So, you know, they haven't been able to do really that, and, you know, every game against us, thank God. But yesterday they got to that number, but not game 1 or maybe this game. And Canzone flies out to center, and that is out number 3. End of the 4th inning, 2-0 Seattle. And obviously there's not going to be a whole lot of options for Tino, but I'll be able to find some old school cards from back in the day at the very least. I mean, there's going to be stuff with him in the Yankee uniform more, but we'll still be able to throw some of these memories up from back in the day. mean, it'd be nicer if we could have them like actually fit the dimensions of the screen itself, but man, a lot of memories when I even look at some of these cards from the Junk Wax era days with the upper decks and the Leafs. And let me see if I get these moved, and we'll see if we can do some Pete Carroll here for you as well. First pitch from Gilbert to Baldwin, high and away, 1-0 count. Appreciate you. We'll get a few more sprinkled in, obviously, throughout the broadcast. First pitch from Gilbert to Baldwin, high and away, is 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle by Logan Gilbert. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Baldwin. Head coach of the Raiders, and he got Chip Kelly to leave Ohio State as offensive coordinator to help call plays down there as well. So it may take a couple years, for them to get the right players to make a wild card, but it definitely feels like they got something brewing there, and they got Ashton Genty in the draft. So you already know that they're going to be rumbling and bumbling over there, obviously for the Raiders. 1-2 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Baldwin. And it's one of those things, like sometimes, when you're with a team for a long period of time, sometimes the message doesn't go through anymore. It just goes one in, one ear and out the other. And sometimes you need a change of scenery. And I think Pete, obviously going to the Raiders will be good for him. 1-2 pitch, and Baldwin grounds out to second, throw to first, and that is 1 away. Next up, right fielder Michael Taylor. Logan Gilbert on the mound, Michael A. Taylor in the box. I like symmetry, and I don't like doing things like everyone else does. And again, with so many screens that I have going on, if I'm looking one way or I'm looking another way, I want to make sure that, at any given point, nothing is going to be missed. And a lot of times if you watch people, if they end up turning their head away from the mic, you're not going to be able to hear them. So there's a couple different reasons. Plus I do color and play-by-play. So I do the job of 2 or 3 people in one stream. So there's a number of reasons why I do it. But again, it's not only just for looks, it's for you guys as well. First pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Taylor. 0-2 pitch, low and away with the curveball, 81 miles an hour there by Logan Gilbert. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Michael A. Taylor. Now, I don't think people really realize too, when you're a full-time streamer and whatnot, it's like, you're not just looking at one screen. It's like sometimes you're looking at, 3 or 5 or 7 or 8. Sometimes I'll have the game on, the White Sox and the Mariners, and I'll have, ESPN and MLB.com for different stats and analytics, and, a few other screens up as well. So, you have to be able to, manage your time. You have to be able to, focus on a high level. Otherwise, you'll never be able to do it. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Taylor. But sometimes I'll have games, on the TVs behind me and whatnot. Sometimes I'll have, a game or 2 on the TV, a game or 2 or 3 on the computer with the live stream. So you have to be able to kind of minimize the screens. And I got a pretty good size iMac, for a screen that is
pretty much the size of a TV is the screen that you're looking at with me on it. So I don't have a small screen for a computer. It's pretty big. So. And Gilbert to Taylor, back, see ya. And luckily that was only a solo jack by Michael A. Taylor, 375 feet, almost in the exact location where Randy Arozarena homered earlier in the matchup. But now we have a 2-1 game. You knew the White Sox were going to get something at some point, and there it is. It took them to the 5th inning, but they finally delivered. Nice job by Michael A. Taylor, bringing the electricity for the White Sox. And that's the first big thing that Logan has given up. And hopefully that will be the only thing that he gives up. Next up for Logan Gilbert, leadoff hitter, DHing Mike Talkman. And we have to be very blessed that was not a 2-run blast or a 3-run blast and we're down. You know, we can deal with the solo dinger here and there. First pitch from Talkman, popped up, flied out to right field, and that is 2 away. Next up is 0 for 2 with a K, Lennon Sosa. No, unfortunately I can't because people don't also realize, you know, with the spinning logo and then the ticker at the bottom and my header at the bottom, you know, for me to be able to have everything, you know, like this, it's layers. Just like when you see like thumbnails, you know, it's layer after layer with the logo and the player and, you know, everything that I have. So when you look at this particular background, this is many, many layers on top of layers. So again, if I were to, you know, stretch out the scoreboard bigger, and I wouldn't be able to have the cards or anything else, you know, the way that it looks. So for me, it's trying to be able to make it look as clean as possible. And again, you know, if I were to change it, you know, then you wouldn't see the scoreboard at all, you know, so you can have like me zoomed in, you know, but again, you wouldn't have any scoreboard. And that's the reason why that I have it, you know, everything is calculated by me, you know, nothing is by chance. Everything is calculated, and that's just, you know, the way that we have it at this point. I mean, I have an option. I can always use MLB.com and their scoreboard preface, but typically ESPN's is a little bit more, you know, I don't want to say reliable because they both will have moments, you know, where they're lagging a little bit by the workers that are updating the stuff. But, you know, it usually works the best, at least for me here. So unfortunately, yeah, there's nothing that I can do to make the scoreboard bigger. You know, you just have to flip your phone to the side, and then you can zoom in with your phone, you know, as well. And if you want to be able to have it bigger that way, but you know, everything is done for a reason here. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Sosa. 2-2 pitch, and big swing and a miss, and down goes Sosa on swings, and we love that. Nice job by Logan Gilbert, bringing the electricity, baby. That's what we're talking about. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and let's see if we can add on to our lead. Logan Gilbert, 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 6 Ks, and that is 94 pitches, 59 strikes. So you're not going to see Logan Gilbert after this inning, and typically he's only been a 5-inning kind of guy, and we'll see who we bring in for Logan after this inning. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 1, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Ice water in his veins. Let's get it. Batting second, 1 for 2 with a run, 2 RBIs and a K. Big 2-run blast to get us the lead, Randy Arozarena. Trident's up. Let's go, Randy. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K. We're looking for home run number 43. Let's go, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. Squeeze in a few more photos here for Monkey Kung Fu. And I'll definitely be tuning in to some preseason football today. Appreciate you. And I think if like Pete Carroll and John Schneider, if they would have addressed, the defense and tried to reconfigure a Legion of Boom 2.0, as well as focusing on the offensive line, right at that, end of that Super Bowl, with Marshawn Lynch, maybe Pete Carroll would still be there and maybe they would have had more success at that time. But, when you're not addressing the most important position in football, the offensive line, at some point they're going to let you go. And I know a lot of people probably were thinking that maybe Schneider should have gone even before Pete, but, sometimes the coach is the one that ends up getting the axe before the GM. And down goes JP, one away. First pitch from Shane Smith to Randy Arozarena. Low and away with a sinker, 95 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Bottom of the fifth inning, 2-1 Mariner lead here on a global broadcast on MLB Network. 1-0 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees with the curveball, 82 miles an hour by Shane Smith. 3-7 record, 4.25 ERA coming into the matchup. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. 2-1 Mariner lead with a 2-run blast by Randy Arozarena. One pitch, takes a strike looking, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Smith to Arozarena. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and a nice punch out there for Shane Smith. Down goes Randy. No home run this time around. 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2 with a K. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. Let's go, baby. Yeah, I mean, even if they, would have run the ball and not scored the touchdown, that would have been the right call. But, sometimes when you get a little too cute and you try to be able to do something that, you don't think that they're going to be able to defend, And again, if he would have caught that and they would have won, then Pete Carroll would have been known as a genius, right? It would have been like, oh, my God, you had Marshawn Lynch and you faked it and, you ended up getting the touchdown. And Pete Carroll, his overall vibe and his overall accomplishments, he would have been looked at a totally different way if they would have caught that and they would have won the Super Bowl, right? But again, when you have the best running back in the league, arguably at that particular year, it doesn't matter if you're at the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, or the 5, you hand the fucking ball off, and again, they paid the ultimate price by not doing what you should have done, And again, it's like if you ended up having a running back that was mid, I get it, throw the ball, and they made a play on it, but not when you have the best running back arguably in the league, that was on them. And obviously Pete Carroll's legacy has never been the same after that play. Bottom of the fifth, 2-1 Mariner lead. Smith on the mound, big dumper in the box. And down goes Cal, and that is out number 3. Hopefully we can get Cal going at some point or another. And Cal pops up into center field, and that is the end of the 5th inning. Next up for the White Sox, 0 for 2 with a K, Andrew Benintendi. Batting second, 1 for 1 with a base on ball, Luis Robert Jr. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a base on ball and a K, Colson Montgomery. And then we're going to have Ferguson come in for Logan Gilbert. And Ferguson actually has done pretty well, as a lefty coming over from the Pittsburgh Pirates, at the deadline. And hopefully we'll get a good solid outing out of him. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Caleb Ferguson photo locked in here, so give me a sec. Solid day for Logan, gave up the home run, but again, 6 punch outs, and he's been going about 5 innings this year. So exactly what we kind of thought coming into the matchup. And again, a relatively pretty good day besides the home run. First pitch from Ferguson to Benintendi, high and inside, 1-0 count. Caleb Ferguson on the mound, and it gives us another lefty besides Gabe Spire, which is good. We were very heavy on the righties. So definitely excited to be able to see what Caleb can do here. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Ferguson to Andrew Benintendi, the former Boston Red Sox. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Andrew Benintendi. Top of the 6th, 2-1 Mariner lead. We've already won the series, but we're looking for the sweep. 1-2 pitch. Fouled off right down the middle by Benintendi. 1 ball and 2 strikes here in the top of the 6th. Ferguson on the mound, Benintendi in the box. One-two pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Ferguson to Benintendi. Mario in the building. What's good? And down goes Benintendi for out number 1. Next up, center fielder Luis Robert Jr. 1-for-1 with a base on ball. Top of the 6th, 2-1 Mariner lead here on a global broadcast on MLB Network. And we'll definitely take a slow dribbler from Benintendi for out number 1. First pitch to Luis Robert Jr. in play, and a nice single to right. And hopefully we can get a slow dribbler right up the middle to JP and a throw to Solano since Naylor is out of the matchup, and hopefully it is just something minor for Naylor. Next up, 0-for-1 with a base on ball and a K, Colson Montgomery. There we go, 104 likes. Let's see if we can get to 125, obviously, for the next goal. And if we can hit that, we'll shoot for 150. Great job all day. And we've gained quite a few subs since I last checked. 4 more. About 10 subs gained in this stream alone. Yesterday it was about 20, 25, so you never know. It's normally around 5 to 15 every day, but it's always good to be able to get that type of love and support, and to be able to get new people to be able to see that there is, somewhere you can watch baseball where it's a little bit different and fun. compared to just a traditional YouTube broadcast that some people do. First pitch from Ferguson to Montgomery. Pitch right down the middle, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. And I think I have an advantage over a lot of the other people on YouTube as well, because I ended up doing phone sales for big companies for like 20 years of my life. So I've already, been told as a young kid that I had a radio, this was before podcasts came out, but everyone said when I was little that I had a radio or, TV voice. And then it just, putting it together with sports and, finding the right, kind of balance of the dream. And obviously 13 years later, here I am. So next up is Curtis Mead. Top of the sixth with 2 outs with a runner at first. Ferguson on the mound and Curtis Mead in the box. First pitch from Ferg to Mead. Low and at the knees with the slurve ball. Slider curve combo, which is relatively a new pitch within the last 2 years. And you're starting to see a few more pitchers, approach the at-bats with that pitch in their arsenal. 1-0 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Ferguson to Mead. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 150 likes. And the next goal for 200 on the dono train. And we're obviously 83 subs away from 21,400. Yeah, we're not talking submarines, Kevin. We're talking subscribers. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first and 2 outs. It's not really a silly question. I mean, it just depends on how often people are on YouTube. I think, it's one of those things too. It's like if you're on YouTube, you're a special breed of person. Not everyone's on YouTube. It's just like the people that are on, TikTok or, people that are on, other platforms, and whatnot. It's like, not everyone is going to be a part of what we're doing. Some people are on Twitch. Some people are on YouTube. Some people, they love TikTok and that's what they do. And they're on it all the time. And, it's like you're either a part of that world or you're not. So, for some people, when they dive into YouTube, they don't really know what to expect until they find, people like us here. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. 2-1 Mariner lead here in the top of the 6th. But I honestly do feel that you get better content on YouTube than you do on TV and podcasts, especially with a lot of the former players that think they can do it, which they can't. And Mead with a big single to right, Montgomery to second, and now we have runners at first and second with 2 outs, and they are threatening. Nice hit there by Mead. And next up in the 7-hole, catcher Edgar Cueto, who is 0 for 2, and hopefully we can get a pop-up ground out or a strikeout here from Caleb Ferguson. And again, Ferg hasn't really played too much. He's filled in a few times since the trade deadline that we picked him up from the Pirates. He's had a pretty lengthy career, 6-7 years before he came over here, and just giving us another lefty other than Gabe Spire. And again, yesterday was the first time that we've seen Bizzardo and Mooney kind of look shitty, and again, some of our bullpen guys, Brash, Bizzardo, Spire, and then Munoz, our closer, will be lights out. And other times they'll get roughed up. Sometimes it's an issue on them, and sometimes you just got to give credit to the batter doing their thing. But it looks like we're going to see Ferguson exit, and they're going to bring in, Carlos Vargas? Hold your breath. And Vargas is our worst player on the team, obviously, as far as pitcher is concerned. Dylan Moore is number 1 overall, someone that we could, send down if we could and bring up Harry Ford or some other player to help us win. But, anything that you get out of Dylan Moore or Carlos Vargas that's positive is a plus. But you got to hold your breath. Got another sub. 82 to go to get to 21,400. Top of the sixth, 2-1 Mariner lead. Oh, the bots are coming in. And if the bots are going to come in, at least have it be for MLB. We're not even doing football right now. Bots coming in, trying to promote NFL. NFL is later today. Come on, my guy. And we got Colts Ravens on at 4 o'clock on NFL Network. Bengals Eagles at 4:30, which isn't televised, but you could stream it. And then you got Raiders and Seahawks for the doubleheader on NFL Network at 7. First pitch from Vargas to Cueto. Takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, fouled off high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Vargas to Cueto. I did see an alarming statistic on if you wanted to be able to watch a lot of the NFL games and not stream it, right? And you actually paid for all the services to be able to watch, including, the Sunday ticket and everything else through all the other, platforms the games are going to be on. You'd be spending like $1,100 to do that. And not only has ESPN bought out Red Zone and NFL Network, which is terrible, because the reason that it was good is because it wasn't linked to ESPN. But ESPN also has bought in the rights for WWE. So pretty soon, you're going to have to spend like $30 to be able to watch certain games on ESPN, which I don't know if people are willing to do that. And then also for WWE. So again, I feel like, there's going to be more people that will be looking for other options rather than, having to pay these crazy amount of money. I mean, we're already paying a lot for Hulu and Netflix and Disney Plus and Apple TV Plus and Peacock and everything else. The greed is unreal. But again, people will be crafty in their ways to find a way to get it done. And wild pitch by Vargas. What's new? Montgomery to third. And now you got runners at second and third. Come on, man. And Vargas, there we go. We got extremely lucky right there with runners at second and third. Because remember how many times we've had Vargas come in, when we've had a 3-1 lead, and then he's given up 3 runs, and then we end up losing 4-3. I can tell you a number of times that's happened this year. But luckily, we got the good Vargas, and we ended up getting that out number 3 with that 3-2 pitch. Nice punch out by Vargas, which is very rare. A guy that doesn't really strike out very many people. All right, let's see if we can add on to the lead, because especially with not knowing who's coming in, we're probably not going to see Brash, Pizzardo, or Munoz. So we're going to end up praying that we have enough bullpen pitching, but we're going to need a couple more runs for insurance to feel a little bit more comfortable. But let's see if we can get it here. Next up, 0 for 2. Center fielder in the 3-hole, Julio Rodriguez. And obviously Naylor with the minor injury, so they're going to have Donovan Solano. So let me get the Solano photo here. And hopefully they'll have a little bit of an update for the Solano situation. Batting second for Josh Naylor in that 4-hole, first baseman Donovan Solano. And then batting third in the 5-hole, third baseman, good vibes only, Eugenio Suarez. Bottom of the 6th, 2-1 Mariner lead. And again, you don't want to lose a game like this. You want to make sure that we're taking advantage of every opportunity to win 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4. But we need to be able to get a couple sweeps, a couple 4-game sweeps, a couple 3-game sweeps. And I think if we didn't have Naylor and Gino, that might not be possible, but with those 2 guys, we should be able to have some opportunities come our way. I'm going to look to see if there's anything. Yeah, they're not really saying anything. I'm going to Naylor and going through some of the stuff, and they just have him listed as day-to-day. I'm not really sure. I mean, if we're going to get some more specifics on, if they have an interview in the dugout, maybe we'll be able to get some more information, but not really saying too much at this point. But maybe when Solano is up, taking his spot, we'll get a little bit more information from the broadcast. Leisure is in the game. Jordan Leisure. First pitch to Julio Rodriguez, low and away, 1-0 count. Chris with a $5. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. Stacks, Racks with the little Cactus Jack, and every donation is a donation to a dream. Appreciate you, Chris. Bang, bang. And if there's anything you want to see photo-wise for your favorite player, let me know, and I got you. 2-0 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike from Leisure to Julio. I've been looking and refreshing the screens over and over and over, going, but again, there's nothing listed in the injury report, through the Mariners. It just says day to day. So I was hoping that they would have something, like a calf or a wrist, so that we can update the rest of the individuals and myself. But, I haven't been able to find anything yet, but I imagine the broadcast will be mentioning something here in a couple moments. Obviously, once we get to Naylor's batting order spot, which has been taken over by Donovan Solano. 2-1 pitch, in play, and Julio is safe off a fielding error by Brooks Baldwin, baby. And again, that's why you are taught to run hard, no matter what. And there we go, Julio keeping hot, baby. Nice job, J-Rod. Good effort running to first hard. And now we have Donovan Solano filling in for Josh Naylor, and it doesn't look like it's anything serious. Obviously, if it was, that would be something that would be talked about. But hopefully we end up seeing him in the Tampa Bay Rays series that starts tomorrow. We're going to need him. And it's not like we have a whole lot of depth behind them. Rowdy Tellez is on the Rangers. Solano is the backup who was the starter. And, Ty France is no longer on the team. Tyler Locklear, we traded away, so not a whole lot of depth. And Julio steals second. Safe. There we go. I like that. 1-1 pitch. Fouled off. Low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Leisure to Solano. Come on, Solano. I know it's been a minute since you've been able to play, but hopefully we can get something out of him rather than nothing. Bottom of the 6th inning, 2-1 Mariner lead. And again, we're not really going to be using a lot of our stars in the pen, so we're going to try to figure it out. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Solano, and that is 1 away. Wish Naylor never got, had that minor injury. Would have been great to be able to see what he would be able to bring in this latter part of the game. A guy that could steal bags and get singles and home runs, but hopefully Naylor will be okay. Next up, third baseman, Eugenio Suarez. Good vibes only. Let's go, Gino. First pitch from Leisure to Gino. Big swing and a miss, low and at the knees, 0-1 count. And you're going to see Gino typically strike out a little bit more than Naylor, but again, it is, a dynamic duo. We need both, to be able to compete on the highest level. Bottom of the 6th, Julio at second with 1 out, 2-1 lead. And again, we still need to try to shoot for that magic number, 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. We're not really built to win games only scoring 1 to 3. I mean, it does happen occasionally, but it doesn't really make us feel comfortable. 0-1 pitch, in play, fouled out to the catcher, and that is out number 2. 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, second baseman Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Polo. And wild pitch, and Julio gets the third, safe. There we go. Nice job, J-Rod. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Have that awareness, and sometimes it's just about getting that guy from first to second in scoring position and then second to third, which could end up leading just to a little blooper that could end up bringing a runner from third to home. And that could be the difference between us winning or losing the game. So hopefully we can find a way for Julio to be able to capitalize here. I mean, I wouldn't expect Julio to steal home. You don't want to get thrown out that way and have it be all wasted for nothing, especially when he stole from first to second and then got on to third by that wild pitch. But we'll see where this goes. But hopefully we can get a nice RBI single here by Polo to make it 3-1. $40 to reach the next dono goal. Sitting at 110 right now. We gained a few more subs as well. Shout out to all the new subs that we've acquired just in this stream alone. Two-one pitch, and popped up and flied out to right. And unfortunately, Polo can't get us the RBI that we wanted, but at least we still have a 2-1 lead. All right, let's see who's up next here for the White Sox in the top of the 7th inning. Next up for the White Sox, 0 for 2 with a K, third baseman Brooks Baldwin. Batting second, right fielder in the 9-hole, Michael A. Taylor. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a base on ball, DHing in the leadoff spot, Mike Talkman. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And I assume that they're going to bring Vargas out again since he only ended up having 6 pitches, but not sure if I really would want that. But hopefully he doesn't end up giving up the lead if that's the direction that they're going to go. Gained a few more subs. We went from 81, now we only need 79. And we're on pace to get 20 subs plus yesterday and 20 subs today. And again, that's not something that usually is common for most streamers. But again, the better that the Mariners do, obviously, and the better that Cal can homer, and obviously Naylor and Gino bring in their services here to Seattle. Obviously, there'll be more eyeballs on the product since I'm really the only one that covers the Seattle Mariners pretty much every single game, and we're definitely here for it. First pitch from Vargas to Baldwin, takes the strike looking low and inside, 0-1 count. I mean, we just have to pray that our worst player on the team, not named Dylan Moore, and Carlos Vargas doesn't fuck this up for us. 0-1 pitch. Cutter, low and at the knees, 1 ball and 1 strike from Vargas to Baldwin. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you go and just look on my library and you look up the channel, again, it's not like I've been doing this just for a few months. We do pretty much everything. NFL, college football, MLB, NASCAR Cup Series. I even did a little bit of the trucks in the Xfinity Series this year. NHL, NBA, WWE, AEW. 1-1 pitch. And Vargas, you dumb motherfucker. Back. See ya. And just like that, Baldwin ties the game up, and we're knotted at 2. Pull him. And again, there's a reason why we don't like Vargas, because it seems like every motherfucking time they bring this motherfucker in, he ends up giving up big hits, RBIs, and home runs. And just like that, our lead is evaporated. You fucking stink. You fucking bum. Boo. Next up is Michael Taylor. Fucking terrible, dude. I mean, how often do we need to be able to see this motherfucker to realize he stinks? Send his ass down to AAA or cut his ass. He is not worth playing, period. Brutal. Well, on the flip side, at least it was only a solo dinger, but still, now we're really going to have to work hard in these last few innings. And hopefully Vargas doesn't give up the lead. But realistically, there's a good chance that he will. But yeah, we'll do Monday night, we'll do Thursday night, Sunday night football, occasionally a really good matchup, like Bills Chiefs or whatever it may be. Throw some Buccaneer games in there as well, but and I'll do all the Oregon Duck games. So there's going to be a lot of content, even after the Mariner season is over. And then once we get into a point where football season is completed, then we'll do a little bit of NBA and NHL with Blazers, Kraken, NASCAR Cup Series as we're waiting for baseball to start up again. And then we typically do WWE once a month for the PLE. If the schedule is right, and then sometimes Monday Night Raw, but typically that's before baseball season. Oh, Carlos Vargas, you fucking bum. 1-1 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike from Vargas to Taylor. 2-1 pitch, and he bunts and grounds out to the catcher, and that is 1 away. Next up for the White Sox, leading off, DHing Mike Tauchman. 0 for 2 with a base on ball. Top of the 7th, 2-2 tie between the Mariners and the White Sox. And again, there's a reason why I don't even bring up Vargas's photo, because he's not even worth one. Ah, man, son of a bitch, dude. I just hate when a player is going to fuck up. It's just a matter of time. And he, obviously he was able to get, an out, obviously in the previous inning, but they have Gabe Spire, warming up, but probably should have, now Vargas is out. He's just not worth playing, period. He fucks up more than he does anything positive. For every 1 strikeout he gets, he gives up like 1 billion runs. But at least he's out now. And I guess we have to be happy that we're not down 3-2 or 4-2, based on him being in there. But I mean, Dan Wilson needs to recognize Vargas and Dylan Moore are fucking terrible. Don't fucking play them. Hell, I would rather have a fan come in and pitch than have fucking him pitch out there. He stinks. Top of the 7th, 2-2, White Sox and Mariners, but they got Gabe Spire coming in, and normally that would be like, breath of fresh air. But Gabe is a guy that has been fucking up a little bit too. He's got pretty good stats overall, but again, if you looked on seeing like how he's pitched lately, he's a guy that's prone to a wild pitch. He's a guy that's prone to, giving up back-to-back hits, sometimes an RBI, and once in a while, a costly home run. So I'm hoping, this is the good Gabe, not the bad, but the only way we're going to find out is until he gets on the mound, and we'll see what he does in these first couple pitches. We want the sweep. I mean, if we want to be able to catch up to the Astros, and win the AL West, these are the type of games that you have to win. Facts. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Come on, Gabe. Hopefully this will be a good version of Gabe Spire. Spire on the mound, Mike Tauchman in the box. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Jordan with the 5er. Said for the cause. I love it, man. Supporting dreams on the daily. Stacks, racks with a little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Thank you so much. And again, I think, if you watch other people when they do a stream compared to what we do here, there's a lot more button clicking and a lot more work being put in. It's not just someone hitting start stream and then talking, and that's it. I mean, there's so much work behind the scenes on every broadcast that we do here. And I know a lot of you recognize it. Some of the newbies may not, but they will. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Spire to Tauchman. Sometimes, it has to do with their contract. Other times it depends on, if we're allowed to send a guy down, based on, where they're at with the team, based on their contract and everything that's kind of written in, so it's not like we're able to just drop anybody or send anyone to AAA. There's certain guys that are kind of protected, so to speak, based on their deal and whatnot, and based on what the rules allow. But I mean, hell, if I, had the job to oversee and veto, and I wouldn't have Dylan Moore or Vargas on the team right now. Definitely bringing up Harry Ford would be, someone that could be beneficial. Whether he be a backup catcher, with Garver, to Cal Raleigh, or even putting Harry Ford at DH and getting another individual to help us win, rather than having Dylan Moore go up there and swing 1 billion times and get nothing. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and down goes Tauchman, and that is 2 away. Yeah, we're not spamming. See ya, John. It doesn't work like that here, my guy. You either have chat etiquette or you don't. We don't need to see that 5 times in a span of 30 seconds. You live and you learn. Next up is Lennon Sosa. First pitch from Gabe Spire to Sosa. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. Top of the 7th, 2-2, White Sox and Mariners. Spire on the mound, Sosa in the box. 0-1 pitch. In play and hit by the pitch. Come on, Gabe. And again, bullpen is so important. It's like you can have great starters, which the Mariners have. But again, if your bullpen guys that are good are reeling a little bit, and then you have to use some of the others, hold your breath. And again, every team goes through, the same thing that the Mariners go through, holding your breath, based on some of those guys that are average or shitty in the pen. And those guys can lose more games for a team than anybody. First pitch from Spire to Benintendi, low and away, missing the strike zone by like fucking 5 feet. Come on, Gabe. 1 ball and no strikes to Benintendi. Spire on the mound, Benintendi in the box. 1-0 pitch, in play, and flied out deep to right field, and that is out number 3. All right, Gabe, good job by not giving up a home run or a big RBI, but now the work really starts, and hopefully here in the last 3 innings, we can end up getting at least 1, and we can find a way to win this game 3-2 or 4-2. Leading off for the Mariners, 1 for 2 with a K, Mitch Garver. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, right fielder Dominic Canzone. Getting a Dom bomb at this point would be great. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a run, ice water in his veins, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Need 6 more subs. We're at like 25. 75 subs to go to get to 21,400. Let's go. 20 plus subs yesterday, 20 plus subs today. We're at 21,325. Let's go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get higher numbers with the likes and the subs and the dono train. Bottom of the 7th inning, we're knotted up at 2. And again, we still have time to do some damage in the lineup, even with Naylor's minor injury. First pitch from Leisure to Garver. Takes a strike looking right down the middle here in the bottom of the 7th. 0-1 count. Global broadcast here on MLB Network. We're knotted up at 2. We've already won the first 2 games in the set, but we're looking for the brooms and we're looking for the sweep. And we got a tough series against the Tampa Bay Rays starting tomorrow. 0-1 pitch, low and away with the slider, missing the strike zone by a few inches by Leisure. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. 2-2 tie between the White Sox and the Mariners. Tom in the building, what's good? 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Leisure to Garver. Come on, Garv. You already got 1 hit today, which is probably more than most people thought you could get. Let's see if you can get 1 more, and that might be able to lead to an RBI. 1-2 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Leisure to Garver. Let's go, baby. Two-two pitch. Big swing and a miss from Garver. And that is out number one. Down goes Mitch, one away. Next up is right fielder Dominic Canzone. Bottom of the seventh, 2-2 tie. Let's go, Dom. We need you. All right, they're making a pitching change. Leisure is done. Hudson is coming in. We'll see if that makes a difference for Dominic Canzone at this at-bat or not. Bottom of the seventh, 2-2, White Sox and Mariners. They're going to bring in Brian Hudson. He's a lefty, so that's why they're bringing him in. All right, Brian Hudson on the mound, Dominic Canzone in the box. Just getting Hudson warmed up here. First pitch from Hudson to Canzone, grounds out to second, throw to first, 2 away. Yeah, well, he hasn't really been that great. You know, if you've actually been watching the games from beginning to end, he missed the first half of the season. You know, and he's only been pitching through like 5 innings all year, not like Wu pitching through 6 innings or longer every start in 2025. So again, we've had injuries to, Gilbert, and Kirby and Miller. Miller is slated to come back soon, making a start for the AAA Tacoma Rainiers tonight. Kirby missed the first 50 plus games with shoulder inflammation that happened in spring training. And then Gilbert, had a minor injury that missed half of the first half of the season. So, again, when you're injured, you can't expect those 3 guys to be great, and luckily we ended up having Wu do really well, all-star this year. Castillo has, kind of held his own. And then we've had to go back and forth with like Evans and Emerson Hancock and other random guys like Luis F. Castillo briefly, but again, most teams, if they had 3 of their starting 5 pitching out with injuries, they would not be good. They wouldn't be above 500. So again, luckily we were able to get those guys back when we did, but there's a reason why certain individual stats are a little bit lower than normal, and typically an injury will do that. 2-1 pitch. High and away. 3-1. And JP with a walk. There we go. There we go, JP. Ice water in his veins and a good eye by not, being too overly aggressive there. Next up, 1 for 3 with a 2-run blast to give us the 2-0 lead. Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. We need you to be a hero. Try to hit this up. Let's go, M's. There we go, all day. Great job. We're at 127, 23 more to get to 150 with 206 in the room. We should definitely be able to do that. First pitch from Hudson to Randy Arozarena. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Low and away with a four-seam fastball by Brian Hudson. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hudson to Arozarena. Bottom of the 7th inning with JP at first. We're very good with 2 outs. And not only that, we're very good in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, as far as an MLB squad. So there's a very good probability that we can get to 3, 4, or 5 runs before this game is up, even with 2 outs. It's not surprising if we end up getting a few runs in a rally with 2 outs. It may not be this inning, but it could be. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Hudson to Arozarena. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't play small ball. I would love for the team to be bunting more and to kind of doing the little things that help you win, but there's no defense in MLB that practices defensive bunting techniques, which is something where if you were to bunt, and you have good hand placement and you aim it the right direction, you can end up being safe. It feels like, 70, 80% of the time, if you can drop it down. But that's the thing. Not many people can drop it down correctly, and not very many people practice it either. And that's probably why we don't really see a whole lot of bunting throughout the MLB, as well as good bunting defense. Most of the time it's the pitcher trying to barehand it and then they bobble it and then they drop it, or it's a second baseman or a third baseman or shortstop that tries to make the play and they overthrow first base and it ends up being a safe, bunt attempt. More of a reason to do it, right? 2-1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Hudson to Arozarena. Bottom of the 7th inning with a runner at first. 2-2 tie with 2 outs. Hudson on the mound. Randy Arozarena in the box. And down goes Randy for out number 3. We're not able to get anything in that particular inning. Let's go to the top of the 8th and see who's up next for the White Sox. Nice punch out there from Hudson on Randy. Next up for the White Sox, having a good day, 2 for 2 with a base on ball, Luis Robert Jr. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a base on ball and a K, shortstop Colson Montgomery. And batting third, first baseman in the 6 hole, 1 for 3, Curtis Mead. Trident's up, let's go M's. And they only had Gabe pitch 9 pitches after Vargas, so I assume that we're still going to see Gabe Spire, but we'll have to wait and find out. Nope, Brash is coming in. Good. And hopefully it's the good Brash. Feel a little bit more comfortable with Brash, but again, last time that we saw him, he didn't look the greatest and whatnot, so he was electric in the first half of the season. But again, we have seen Brash, Bizzardo, Spire, and Munoz, the best 4, have a little bit of struggles lately, so hopefully that won't be the case here today. And if we would have had Brash last year, we would have made the playoffs. Having a guy like this will give you 5 to 10 more wins typically, when he pitches, and he's coming off Tommy John and you can't really see any lingering signs of it, but hopefully we can end up getting through this inning quickly and finding a way to win this game 3-2. And we gained 3 more subs. 25 subs gained on the stream already. 25 yesterday, 25 today. We're rolling. 72 subs now to be able to get to 21,400. First pitch from Brash to Luis Robert Jr. Takes a strike looking low in the zone. Sinker, 96 miles an hour by Matt Brash. 0-1 count. Top of the 8th inning, global broadcast on MLB Network. We're knotted up at 2 because Carlos Vargas is a fucking bum. But again, we're still, in line to be able to win the game, even with that happening. Randy Arozarena with a 2-run blast with J.P. Crawford on board in the 3rd, 2-0 Mariners. Michael A. Taylor homered to left, making it 2-1. And then we ended up having another home run based off Carlos Vargas. Brooks Baldwin with a homer to right center to make it 2-2. So it's been a home run type of game. Not a whole lot of hits. 6 hits for the White Sox, 4 for the Mariners, an error each, and something's got to give. And a nice little base knock there for Luis Robert Jr. having himself a good day today, 3 for 3. All right, next up is shortstop Colson Montgomery, and we're going to need a punch out in a double play or a double play in a punch out. Come on, Brash. First pitch from Brash to Montgomery. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. Oh-1 pitch. Fouled off. Low and at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes from Brash to Montgomery. Come on, man. Don't let us down. Especially when we have been in pretty much full control of this game. We want to make sure you find a way to win, and we don't care if we end up winning 3-2. We've already had some high-scoring affairs in Game 1 and Game 2. We got the Tampa Bay Rays starting tomorrow. Randy gonna get a chance to play his former team, so I know Randy will have a great series. He homered here today to try to help us win, but we need someone else to step up, and we'll figure out who that is. 0-2 pitch, low and away. Slider missing the strike zone by inches. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Brash to Montgomery. And Luis Robert Jr. stealing second, safe. And we gained another sub. And down he goes, 1 away. Next up is Curtis Mead. First pitch from Brash to Mead, high and away. A slider 87 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Nice punch out there by Matt Brash, and hopefully we can get a double play here or a couple more punch outs. Keep it going, Brash. Matt Brash on the mound, Curtis Mead in the box, who is 1 for 3. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike swinging low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Brash to Mead. Go, baby. Got to find a way to win this. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. These are the types of games that you have to win, especially if we want to catch up to the Stros who have the day off. We win this, we're only a game and a half back. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, low and at the hips. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 1 out. We need a double play or a couple cheap outs here for Matt Brash. Now, Calvin's been a little off, lately, and hopefully he'll be able to get, it going, but it may not be today. Gained another sub. Almost 30 subs gained in this stream alone, 50 in the last 2 days. Shout out to all the new subs that we've acquired, not only in the last 2 days, but in 2025. Top of the 8th inning, 2-2 tie. Brash on the mound, Mead in the box. 1-2 pitch, in play. And fucking A, Mead with a single. Now you got runners on the corners at first and third with 1 out. Come on, Brash. And again, the last time that we saw Matt, he was a little shaky. And again, it seems like you're getting the same type of performance. Next up is catcher in the 7-hole, 0 for 3 with a K, Edgar Cueto. Hopefully we get the double play right up the middle to JP, throw to Solano. Goodbye. End of inning. And that's exactly what we need here now with runners on the corners at first and third. Can't be fucking up here. Come on, baby. First pitch from Brash to Edgar Cueto. High and inside, 1-0 count. And this is definitely the most pivotal point in the matchup so far tonight, obviously with the White Sox threatening. Shows you, you can end up, playing pretty well with the starter, Logan Gilbert. But if your bullpen is not confident or they get roughed up by, just good swings by the opposing team, things can spiral pretty quickly. 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners on the corners at first and third and 1 out. And another sub, 69 to go to 21,400. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Brash to Cueto. And Meade going into second, safe. Golly, runners at second and third now with 1 out. 2-1 pitch, big swing and a miss in the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Brash to Cueto. 2-2 pitch, low and at the knees. Could have hit strike 3 right on the line, but he doesn't get the call. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at second and third and 1 out. And again, if they end up getting a big RBI here, this could be the difference between us winning or losing the game. We don't guarantee that we're going to get a hit, RBI, or home run in the 8th or the 9th. We got to get out of this inning unscathed. Come on, Brash. 3-2 pitch and strikes him out looking. Wow. Nice job by Matt. There we go. Nice job by Matt Brash. Digging deep. 2 away. That a boy. Way to bring that electricity, Matt. Next up for Matt Brash, hopefully the last batter in the 8 hole. 1 for 3. With a run, RBI, and a K, Brooks Baldwin. First pitch from Brash to Baldwin, low and at the knees with a slider, 87 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Come on now. 1 more punch out or ground out or pop up. Kind of feels like it might be more of a pop up or a ground out, but if he can find a way to get the strike 3, I'll be living it and I'll be loving it. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike swinging low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Brash to Baldwin. Top of the 8th, 2-2 tie. Runners at second and third with 2 outs. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike with runners at second and third and 2 outs. Brash on the mound, Brooks Baldwin in the box. Yeah, feels like it could be a pop-up or a ground out. I'm hoping that's what we'll get here. I mean, unless Brash can manifest another 2 strikes in a row and we can get the punch out, but I don't think it's really necessary here on Baldwin. Unless we can get him to foul off one of these pitches here. Come on now. And got him. There we go. Out number 3, and Brash does his job. And we leave runners stranded at second and third. Beautiful. Let's go. And again, with Brash being a little shaky in his last, start, coming in for the Mariners, this is a great sign to see. A little slow dribbler, easy play for Solano, even though he's coming in to back up Naylor, and then we leave him stranded, and that gives us the Uncle Mo and the momentum that we need to win the game. All right, let's go here and see if we can end up taking the lead in this inning. Leading off for the Mariners, 0-for-3 with a K. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh. How about 1 for 4? And how about home run number 43? That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Batting second, 0-for-3. Hey, we would take this as well. Trident's up, Julio Rodriguez. And then batting third, filling in for Josh Naylor with a minor injury, Donovan Solano. I'm going to pull up the Solano photo. And Taylor is coming in to relieve Hudson for the White Sox. All right, baby. We got to manifest this. Let's go. Bottom of the 8th. We're tied up at 2. Global broadcast on MLB Network. Let's get the job done. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. gained another sub. 30 subs today and 25 yesterday. We're on a really good pace. 21,332. 68 more to get to 21,400. And we're at, what are we at? We're at 115 on the dono train. And what are we sitting on the likes? 136. So we have at least 100 people in the room that haven't hit the like button. If we can get 13 more out of the 100 that haven't done it, we'll be at 150. So if you are watching the stream and enjoying yourself and you subbed to the channel, take a quick peek on your phone or your computer or tablet. If you've hit the like button, do your boy a solid. First pitch from Taylor to Big Dumper, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees with the curveball. Back-to-back curveballs by Taylor. 2 balls and no strikes to Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. We'll take singles. We'll take doubles, but we're looking for home run number 43, baby. 2-0 pitch, high and away for Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. 3 balls and no strikes from Taylor to Raleigh. And at this point, you don't even need Cal to swing. You know, just take the walk, and there it is. All right, Cal to first. I mean, obviously, we would love to be able to see home runs, but again, just getting on base could help us win. Nice job by Cal. Next up for the Mariners, a player that's been uber hot as of late, a 300 hitter after the All-Star break, Julio Rodriguez. Let's see if Julio can be a hero here with a single, double, RBI, or home run. Let's go, Julio. Trident's up. Let's go, J-Rod. All right, looks like we need 2 more likes to get to 150. So we still got, 70 people or more in the building. And hopefully we'll get a fraction of those to hit the like button as well. And we'll be maybe even being able to hit 175 before the stream ends. Takes a strike, 0-1 count. Come on, Julio. 0-1 pitch. In play, and Julio with a beautiful single to right, and Cal steadily gets into second base, safe. There we go. And now we're going to have Cole Young hit for Solano, and that's a great decision by Dan Wilson. Let's go. It's a Cole world, baby. And we know Cole can come up with big, RBI singles to win. He's done it for us a couple times already this year. Let's see if Cole Young can be the guy that makes the difference here. And obviously, I would rather have Cole Young over Donovan Solano in a heartbeat. So it looks like the clubhouse hasn't even listed the injury yet. That's what they just said on the broadcast. So. I mean, we got no outs right here. So technically, this would be a great time. I mean, we know Cole can swing and get an RBI single, and he's been able to get some, occasional home runs lately. He had one that was 470, which would have been the longest at T-Mobile, but then they remeasured it, and it was like 456. Still, anything over 450 is incredible, especially for a singles hitter in the 9-hole. But if Cole bunts towards first base and moves the runners over to second and third, that would be small ball, which would be smart. But Cole is also good enough to be able to get a single on his own to be able to move the runners over. And you never know. It could end up being an RBI double and making the score 3-2 or 4-2. But we'll find out if he can get the job done. And Young with the sack bunt, and he bunts to third. Rodriguez to second and Cal to third, and they're both safe. And that makes me nervous, when you have guys bunting towards third, when you have runners that are trying to go there. We saw JP do that a few games back, and it didn't work. So luckily, Cole did the bunt that we mentioned here on the broadcast. And again, now we're in good position. And Master Boney is now running for Cal at third, and I like that decision as well. And now we got the perfect guy up, Eugenio Suarez. I know he's 0 for 3 with 2 Ks, but hopefully we can get some magic here. I mean, obviously him hitting a big 3-run blast, game over, it would be 5-2 more than likely, but we just need a single. Just get a single here or a double, Gino, and we're good. Home run is best case scenario. First pitch from Taylor to Gino. Takes a strike looking, high and away. 0-1 count. Bottom of the 8th, 2-2 tie. Global broadcast, MLB Network. Runners at second and third. And a beautiful bunt by Cole Young to sacrifice himself and to move the runners over. And then we have Mastrobuoni running for Cal at third. 0-1 pitch, high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Taylor to Suarez. And that pitch should have been called a strike in the box, but for whatever reason, the ump is blind and called it a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike to Eugenio Suarez. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Eugenio Suarez. Let's go, Gino. Come on now. We need you. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and an off day for Eugenio Suarez, and that is 2 away. Gino can't be the hero here today, but hopefully this guy will be. Second baseman Jorge Polanco. And we know Jorge can get singles, doubles, and home runs, but at this point, we just want to take the lead. Let's go, Polo. And Polo, they're going to intentionally walk Polo. Wow. Interesting. All right, so now we got bases loaded with 2 outs, and they're going to go with Mitch Garver. And again, a lot of times they're like, oh no, Mitch Garver. But Mitch can actually thrive in these situations. I wouldn't expect him to hit a grand salami, but don't be shocked if he gets an RBI single and then we go up 3-2. You know, hits a nice single into left field. We'll see if he actually waits on the proper pitch, or we might be able to get him walked, and we get that freebie run from third, Mastrobuoni, to score. We'll just see what kind of location Taylor has here, and hopefully Garver will be patient. And if he is, we might be able to get it to 3-2 with him just being patient in the box. First pitch from Taylor to Garver. Big swing and a miss, 0-1 count. Come on, Garv. You can be the hero. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Taylor to Garver. Bases loaded. We're tied up at 2 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Come on, Garv. Find a way. Come on, Garv. Taylor on the mound, Garver in the box. I mean, it would be much better if he was in a 2-0 count rather than an 0-2, but you know, Garver is a guy that once in a while, you know, can come up with something. He's not going to do it every at-bat, obviously. But hopefully we get a nice RBI single here by Garver. You know, grand salami would be best case scenario, but I'm not sure if you're going to get that here. 0-2 pitch, low and away with the slider. 91 miles an hour by Taylor. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Taylor to Garver. Come on, Mitch. 1-2 pitch, and big swing and a miss, and that is out number 3. Brutal. So with that happening, with bases loaded, realistically, we may not get anything in the 9th, and we may have to try to win this game 3-2 in 10, 11, or 12. I mean, obviously it's possible, you know, that we can find a rally in the 9th, and I hope we do, but it kind of feels, you know, like it could be an extra inning game, but we'll see where it goes. Oh, man, especially with bases loaded late. You know, you want to capitalize, but again, you have to have the right batter there. And I kind of feel Naylor's injury kind of screwed us, because I feel like if Naylor was still in the lineup, we probably would already be ahead by now. And then with him going down, you know, I don't want to say it rubbed off the good vibes only for Gino, but obviously with having his teammate not playing, you know, it definitely is, I don't want to say ruined our vibe, you know, but it definitely has adjusted our vibe here late, especially with our bullpen being a little shaky, but we've been able to get out of a couple jams, and hopefully we can get out of another one, you know, here in the 9th. Let's see who's up next for the White Sox, and I'm curious on who we're going to have pitch. Leading off, 1 for 3 with a run, RBI, and a K, Michael A. Taylor. Batting second, 0 for 3 with a base on ball and a K, DHing Mike Talkman. And batting third, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks, second baseman Lennon Sosa. Trident's up. Let's go M's. We got to grind it out. And not every game you're going to score, you know, 6, 7, 8 runs. Sometimes you're going to have to find a way to score 1 to 3 and find a way to win. And Brash had 20 pitches for 13 strikes. I'm not sure if, Brash would be the one that you'd bring in. And the only obvious choice is Munoz. And even though Munoz typically only comes in when we're ahead, he's coming in with the tie. And that is the right move. And hopefully we won't see Munoz fuck up like he did yesterday. We got to have him be clean here. Top of the ninth inning, we're tied up at 2. Taylor in the box, Andres Munoz on the mound. Let's bring that electricity, baby. Let's go. Wu didn't start today. Logan Gilbert did. And we gained a few more subs. 30 plus on this stream alone. Shout out to all the new subs that we've acquired from yesterday and today, as well as in 2025. First pitch from Munoz to Taylor, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Munoz on the mound, Michael A. Taylor in the box. 1-0 pitch, fouls it off, high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs here in the top of the ninth. Munoz on the mound, Taylor in the box. Shep in the building. What's good, brother? Good talk last night. And again, I'm always going to be here for you, brother. We're going to go through the ups. We're going to go through the downs, peaks and valleys, kind of like the Mariners. It's not always going to be easy breezy. It's not going to always be easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? But again, having a good friend in your corner can go a long ways. 2-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging, low and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Munoz to Taylor. I'll be much better if the Mariners can find a way to dig out this sweep and get this victory on the White Sox. We got the Tampa Bay Rays starting tomorrow, and hopefully we can find a way to win this either in regulation in 9 or in extras in 10, 11, or 12. 2-2 pitch, and strikes out looking right on the line. Beautiful pitch by Andres Munoz, 1 away. Nice job, Mooney. Next up for the White Sox, DHing and the leadoff hole, Mike Tauchman. And that's pretty rare. You don't really see a leadoff hitter as a DH. That's not something that you see from most teams. First pitch from Munoz to Tauchman, takes a strike looking, high and away, 0-1 count. Yeah, so usually you have a starting 5 in a rotation. So you'll usually, have your guys, and they'll go through their main order, whether it be, Wu, Gilbert, Kirby, Castillo, and then Logan Evans. And then once they pitched and they start, then they don't pitch again until later, until they get called up again. 0-1 pitch in play, and a deep hit by Tauchman, but lines out to left. Randy Arozarena is there, 2 away. Next up is second baseman Lennon Sosa. What a catch by Randy. Beautiful. First pitch from Mooney to Sosa. Takes a strike looking, high and inside. 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch. Low and away with the slider. 1 ball and 1 strike from Mooney to Sosa. Gained another sub. We're going to be at like 60 subs in 2 days. If we keep going at this pace, only a few more to get there. And I don't know where we're at on the likes, but we should be able to hit 150 plus, somewhere in that 150 to 175 range. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do. But we're doing good on the subs, the likes, and the dono train today. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Munoz to Sosa. And even though Lennon Sosa isn't a big name, he is dangerous. 1-1 pitch, and Sosa flied out and fouled out to the catcher for out number 3. All right, let's find a way to win the game right now. What do you say? Let's go to the bottom of the 9th and let's hold no prisoners. Let's go. Nice job by Munoz actually pitching a solid half inning. Leading off for the Mariners in the bottom of the ninth, 0 for 3 with a K. Could we get a Dom Bomb walk-off? That would be sweet. Right fielder, Dominic Canzone. Batting second, 1 for 2 with a run and a base on ball. Ice water in his veins. J.P. Crawford, could he be the hero? It could be. And batting third, 1 for 4 with a 2-run blast to give us the 2-0 lead early. Could we get another piece of magic for Randy Arozarena? Trident's up. Bring the electricity. Let's go Mariners. And another sub. Subs left and right. I love it. And they're going to bring in their version of a Gilbert for the White Sox. Hopefully we can find a way here to get this job done in regulation. Let's go, Dom. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Find a way to win this game. You don't want to have games like this slip through your fingers, especially when we're trying to catch up to the Astros. We win. We're only 1.5 back. You know, it's a matter of just a few days. We're going to take over the division lead. Trident's up. And another sub. $21,336, and we just hit 21,300 like yesterday. So we're off to a very good pace here in the last couple days. Tyler Gilbert on the mound for the White Sox. Gilbert on the mound. Pitch-com issue for Gilbert there. Fans getting a little antsy. First pitch from Tyler Gilbert to Dominic Canzone. Low and away, 1-0 count. And hopefully we can get the meltdown, from Tyler Gilbert here. That would be fantastic. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Canzone. Come on, Dom. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Canzone. And with the 3 batters that we have, Canzone, JP, and Randy Arozarena, it is possible that we can get a walk-off. But again, this lefty has got a kind of a wicked sidearm approach. So it might be a little bit more difficult, and if we end up not winning in regulation, I do believe we can win in 10, 11, or 12 in extras. But hopefully we can win in this inning. 1-2 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Canzone. And another sub. Now 63 to go to 21,400. 1-2 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. We're in the bottom of the ninth. Global broadcast on MLB Network, knotted up at 2. 1-2 pitch, fouled off with the sweeper, low and away. 81 miles an hour by Tyler Gilbert on the White Sox. 1 ball, 2 strikes from Gilbert to Canzone. Come on, Dom. One-two pitch, fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. 1-2 pitch, and Canzone grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first, and 1 away. Down goes Dom. Now we're down to JP Crawford and Randy Arozarena. And we've seen JP walk off recently. Could he do it again? First pitch from Gilbert to Crawford. Takes a strike looking low and in the zone. 0-1 count. Come on, JP. Give me that electricity, baby. That swagger, that aura, that electricity. Let's go, JP. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss from Gilbert to JP. No balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Crawford. (0-2 pitch. High and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to JP. Bottom of the 9th, we're knotted up at 2, and we're thirsty for a victory. There he is. Let's go, Maurice. Mariner Moose, we need all the good luck that we can get. Let's go. 1-2 pitch. Low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Crawford. Come on, JP. Got to wait for that perfect pitch. (2-2 pitch. Fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Crawford. Yeah, and I don't think Dom sucks. You know, he's a backup player that we brought up from AAA. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And that is out number 2. I mean, he's filling in for Victor Robles. And once Victor Robles comes back in a couple weeks, Dom won't be playing at all. You know, unless they occasionally put him at DH over Polo. So... but he's done a pretty good job, with all things considered. I mean, it's better than Leody Taveras and some of the other guys like Dylan Moore and Luke Raley that have tried playing that position. So, beggars can't be choosers, my guy. First pitch from Gilbert to Randy Arozarena. High and away, 1-0 count. Let's go, Randy. He gave us the 2-run blast early to give us the 2-0 lead. But unfortunately, guys like Carlos Vargas shit the bed and, got this game tied. And hopefully we can find a way to win this here in regulation. But, it feels like to me it's going into extras, and there it is. It goes into extras. Down goes Randy. And again, I said that at the beginning of the inning. Again, sometimes I'll get these feelings, of ESP that we're either going to, have the big play happen and I'll, call a home run before it happens or a big RBI. But also I have those feelings when I can tell that more than likely we're not going to win in regulation. And it definitely felt like that in this particular inning. So we're going to have to win in extras, but I do have confidence that we can win in extras. And again, sometimes it's nice to be wrong when it leads to a Mariner win in regulation, but I don't know. I just didn't feel it, and sometimes I got to have those feelings to, think it into existence. All right, let's go to the top of the 10th and let's see what we can get done here for the Mariners. Leading off for the White Sox, 0 for 4 with a base on ball and a K, DHing Mike Tauchman. And Bizzardo is coming in for Munoz. Now, we already had Tauchman and Sosa. Benintendi. Yeah, it's up to them to update it. All right, so leading off is left fielder Andrew Benintendi, who is 0 for 4 with a K. I was going to say, we already saw Tauchman and Sosa. Batting second, center fielder Luis Robert Jr., who is very dangerous. And batting third, shortstop Colson Montgomery. And hopefully Bizzardo pitches better than he did yesterday because it was the worst outing that he's had all year. And hopefully we get a good outing out of Edward Bizzardo, who's been lights out, obviously, in 2025. The most improved player from last year to this year, Edward Bizzardo. Judah in the building. What's good? And 2 more subs. 62 to go now to get to 21,400. 35 subs on this game alone. 25 yesterday. All right, Bizzardo on the mound. And Andrew Benintendi, the former Boston Red Sox, in the box. First pitch in play, popped up to Julio Rodriguez, one away. That's a great start. Nice job by Bizzardo there, and nice job by Julio. Next up is Luis Robert Jr. First pitch from Bizzardo to Luis Robert Jr. takes a strike looking high and inside, which should have been called a ball. But again, no ump is perfect. But again, we'll see if we get a makeup call later on in this at-bat. 0-1 count.
Oh my gosh.
0-1 pitch, high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Bizzardo to Luis Robert Jr. Bizzardo on the mound, Luis Robert Jr. in the box. And Luis Robert Jr.'s 3 for 3 today with a walk. So hopefully we don't end up giving up a big home run. Because if that happens, we lose. So we got to make sure that we get him to ground out, pop up, or strike out. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Robert Jr. One-two pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Robert Jr. Top of the 10th with a ghost runner at second. With 1 out, we're knotted up at 2. Global broadcast on MLB Network. We've already won the series, but we're not satisfied with that. We want to sweep. We want to get closer to the Astros. And if we win, we're only 1.5 back. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes after that sinker misses the strike zone by inches. 2 balls, 2 strikes, runner at second with 1 out. Bizzardo on the mound, Luis Robert Jr. in the box. Trident's up, let's go M's. Obviously best case scenario here would be a double play to end the inning, but I don't think you're going to get that. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, and down goes Luis Robert Jr. And this is the good Bizzardo. My man, 2 away. Nice job. Next up, shortstop Colson Montgomery. 0 for 3 with a base on ball and 2 Ks. And if we get Montgomery out, we have a very good chance to win this in 10. And they're going to intentionally walk Montgomery. I'm not really sure why that is done, but are you afraid of someone that is 0 for 3? Questionable call there by Dan Wilson. And now you're going to go against someone that is 2 for 4 rather than going against someone that was 0 for 3. Make it make sense. And if we end up losing this game, it'll be because of that decision. Hopefully we won't. First pitch from Bizzardo to Meade. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. But Bizzardo looks much better than yesterday, so hopefully we can find a way to get this done. And again, Bizzardo has been the most consistent guy in the pen from the start of the year till now. Brash is normally amazing. Mooney's our closer, all-star, but he has been a little shaky lately. And Spire is usually hit or miss, and then everyone else is kind of a liability. Top of the 10th, runners at first and second with 2 outs. And 0-1 pitch. Did it hit him? And it did. Jesus Christ. So you end up intentionally walking a guy, and then you end up hitting the next guy. Now we have bases loaded with 2 outs. And that decision to intentionally walk a guy that's 0 for 3, idiot. Why would you do that? And now you're in position where they could score 1, 2, or 3. And we may not be able to come back if that happens. They're going to do a little review to see if it actually hit the bat or hit the player. It looks like it hit the knob, but I need to see a slow-mo of the replay here. Let me look again. It looks like it hits the knob. I think that is yeah, they need to review that because he doesn't shake his wrist like he got hit, right? he throws the bat in the air, but that was kind of like, LeBron James, trying to get a flop for the Lakers. So initially when you see it, you're like, oh, it hit him. But Bizzardo has good instincts, tags the bag. This should get overturned, and this should be the end of the inning. Hopefully, but we'll see. But after seeing 3 replays, it looks like it hit the knob of the bat. It does not hit him on the wrist. The reaction would have been much different if it would have actually hit him. And that's usually how you can tell, as well as a slow-mo angle and zoomed in onto the bat knob. And then if it hits the hand and the knob, then I would assume that, and then he'll go to first. But pretty sure that hit the knob. There we go. Call is overturned. All right, 2 away. Oh, wow, they kept it. Wow, really? No way. I thought for sure that they were going to overturn that. No way. Unbelievable. You kidding me? All right, bases loaded with 2 outs. All right, first pitch from Bizzardo to Cueto. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Unbelievable. If there was ever a time that we saw, it hit the knob out of all the plays this year, it was that one right there. 0-1 pitch. Fouled off right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Cueto, but hopefully we end up getting karma to, go in our favor, because that definitely looked like that was out number 3. But now Bizzardo is ahead in an 0-2 count, and I feel confident we can get out of this jam. Top of the 10th with bases loaded with 2 outs. No balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Cueto. 0-2 pitch. Low and at the knees with the sinker. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Cueto. Can't believe they didn't overturn that call. I mean, unless they're thinking that it hit the fingers and the knob, but no. Oh, God. And there it is. Sosa scored on a wild pitch. Fuck, man. You kidding me? And I'm telling you, that intentional walk. And Bizzardo fucking up in back-to-back games, and now we're down by a run. Brutal. When it should have been strike 3 or, out number 3, and then we go in with a 2-2 tie. And a lot of times that's what happens, right? You end up having a play that you get ripped off on, and then a pitch or 2 later. And it also shows you if that was Cal Raleigh, that ball does not get past him. And having Mitch Garver behind the plate cost us. Brutal. 1-2 pitch. Low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Cueto. And I hate losing based off wild pitches. That's the worst way to lose. Runners now at second and third with 2 outs. 3-2 White Sox lead. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs with runners at second and third. Motherfucking brutal. And Cueto grounds out to second, and that is out number 3. Not after they already took the lead. So, yeah, there's nothing I can do on my end based on my format, having layers on top of layers. So, I mean, you can always flip your phone from, straight up to the side-by-side, view, and then zoom in with your finger. But that's just the way that it is. I mean, if you want to be able to have a scoreboard. Otherwise, then it would just be me with no scoreboard. And, we want to make sure that we keep everything up to date. So, sorry, I can't do that. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 10th, and it's going to be tough here, to be able to tie it up or even win now, based on that horrible bad call of, it hitting the knob, and they decided to give them, the call, and it ended up costing us. So it's going to take a lot to be able to come back, and now we have Mastroboni, Julio, and Dylan Moore. So I want to be positive, but realistically, we're probably going to lose now. Just be unless these guys can step up. And Mastroboni has been pretty good off the bench. I have confidence in Julio, but I just don't know if he'll be able to get a home run right here, and that's probably what we're going to need. And we have zero confidence in Dylan Moore. So if Mastrobuoni strikes out, Julio pops up, it's not like we can really rely on Dylan Moore to win the game for us. So I'm hoping we can find a way, but it feels like momentum has been ripped out of our hearts. And it kind of feels, at least to me right now, that we're approaching an L. But I hope we can dig deep and find a way to at least tie it up and find a way to win in extras. But with this lineup of Mastrobuoni, Julio, and Dylan Moore, it's not looking good. And that's just being really honest. Yeah. And again, that intentional walk was ridiculous. Why would you intentionally walk a guy that's 0 for 3 and then pitch to another guy that's 2 for 4? And again, I know this is Dan Wilson's first year, and he's better than Scott Service, but he doesn't really make great decisions, with guys like Carlos Vargas, playing, and, different guys that he substitutes in and out, and keeping guys in too long, or too, cutting a guy, too soon. So we got to pray for a miracle now. But Bizzardo with back-to-back fuck-ups. And again, he's been our strongest guy. And now we've seen pretty much everyone in the bullpen, kind of fuck up recently. And that's not ideal. But hopefully Miles Mastrobuoni can find a way to get on base, and Julio can win it for us, because it sure as hell ain't going to be Dylan Moore, more than likely. First pitch from Gilbert to Mastrobuoni. 1-0 count. And then not having Cal being able to hit and having Dylan Moore, what are we doing? These are the type of games that you need to win to be able to catch up to the Astros. But it's going to take a miracle for us to be able to tie it up or win. And hopefully we can get it. Julio is probably our only hope. And hopefully Mastrobuoni can find a way to get to first to give us a chance. Bottom of the 10th, 3-2 White Sox lead. Terrible call with a pitch being hit on the knob, and they decided to give it to him, and it ended up making it bases loaded, and they ended up getting an RBI right after. Brutal. 1-0 pitch, bunted foul. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Mastrobuoni. 20 more likes to get to 200. Let's get there, baby. One ball and 1 strike with a runner at second and no outs. Oh, come on, Mariners. We got to dig deep here. Really the only thing that might be able to save us is the ghost runner at second, because if we didn't have anybody on base, having Mastrobuoni, Julio, and Dylan Moore is not sexy. But having a runner at second, we'll have a little bit of life. Come on, Miles. Bottom of the 10th, runner at second. And Mastrobuoni with the bunt. Throw to first is wild. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. And we get a runner to score. There we go. And we tied it up 3-3. I guess we're not the only team that can make a fuck up. There we go. Wow. Unbelievable. And again, just as unbelievable as the White Sox end up getting that knob, reviewed, and they end up getting it, the Mariners get karma to come back, and our ghost runner from second, beautiful. And then you get a perfect bunt attempt, a wild throw by the pitcher, and we're tied up at 3. Now we have a chance to win. Wow. Unbelievable. What are the chances of something like that happening? Like 1 in a million. Again, incredible. And a great bunt attempt by Mastrobuoni. And again, that's why, like I mentioned, we should be bunting more, because again, defenses aren't prepared for the bunt. And that's a great example of it right there. A routine play turns into a game-tying run. Trident stuff, let's go M's. And we can see if we can get a win here with Julio Rodriguez. Amazing. And normally, let's be real, in that type of situation, we lose, 9 times out of 10 or, 90 times out of 100 or more, right? So we got incredibly lucky by good bat placement and a wild throw by the pitcher to first. And luckily, we had some good speed with the gross runner at second to score off that wild pitch. And now the momentum is back in the Mariners' favor. But again, you're not going to see a play like that, that often. We're talking like once or twice a season. And, the sports gods were in our favor, making up for that bullshit knob call that went against us after the review. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Let's go. Wow. Incredible. And now we have a player that we do have faith in, 1 for 4, Julio Rodriguez, and hopefully Julio can get it done. Bottom of the 10th with a runner at first and no outs, 3-3 tie. Let's find a way to win this game 4-3 right now. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Let's go, Julio. But I almost feel that was like karma, you know? And again, we got ripped off on a play that was so obvious that it hit, you know, the knob. And they still gave it to him after the review, you know? And then like a couple pitches later, they get the fucking cheap-ass RBI, you know? But again, having Miles Mastrobuoni come in, that was a godsend. You know, one of the guys that's actually on the bench that can bunt efficiently and has done it earlier in the year. So let's see if we can get it done now. And now we got Wilson coming in, Steven Wilson for Gilbert. And now we have Wilson versus Julio. First pitch to Julio Rodriguez, fouls it off right down the middle, 0-1 count. Oh-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wilson to Rodriguez. Come on, Julio. 1-1 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Wilson to Rodriguez. Come on, Julio. I mean, obviously all the momentum has shifted from the White Sox to the Mariners. You know, we got a 3-3 tie here with a runner at second. Come on, Julio. No outs on top of that. I mean, this should be a 4-3 win. Or possibly 5-3 if he hits a homer. Come on, baby. 2-1 pitch. Fouled off right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Wilson to Julio Rodriguez. Come on, J-Rod. Give us that magic that we want. Bottom of the 10th. Runner at second with no outs. 3-3 tie. And hopefully Julio will be able to be the hero. I mean, how often do you see a bunt attempt with a wild throw to first lead in a score from a guy that was at second base? I get it if he was at third and he scored, but again, you got to have some speed to score from second and go all the way home off a throw to first. That's wild. And luckily it was really high and away, you know, towards that first baseman, and we got extremely lucky. But maybe it was karma. Winning run is Miles Mastrobuoni at second base. 2-2 pitch in play, and unfortunately Julio flies out to second, and that is popped up and 1 away. Not deep enough for Miles to tag up to go to second to third. Everyone's favorite player for the Seattle Mariners, Dylan Moore. Come on, Dylan. For the sake of baseball, do something. First pitch. Outside, 1-0 count. And Mastrobuoni steals third. Safe. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. And hopefully this will be less pressure for Dylan. And again, it's not like he has 0 home runs on the season. You know, ended up having 8 early and had 1 on the 4th of July in the game that I went to against the Pirates. But wow, great job by Mastrobuoni to getting the third. 1-0 pitch. Fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wilson to Demo. And if this is me right here, I bunt to win the game. I bunt towards first base. And, you know, again, you can't really rely on Dylan to fucking get a hit that often. We only have 1 out. If we had 2 outs, there's no purpose of bunting. But this would be a great time to drop a bunt down and win. You know, but again, will Dylan do it? Can he do it? That's the question. I mean, unless Dylan can hit it deep enough into right field or left field, then we can tag up and score that way, which would be acceptable as well. But we'll see what we get here. 1-1 pitch, high and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike from Steven Wilson to Dylan Moore. Come on, Dylan, please. 2-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Wilson to Dylan Moore. Come on, Dylan. Come on, Dylan, please. And I honestly believe if Dylan were to bunt, we could score. Master Boney's got great instincts on the bag. 2-2 pitch, low and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Wilson to Demo. Maybe we can get a Demo walk. I mean, obviously, it would be great for him to be able to get a home run or an RBI single, but again, he hasn't been the most reliable hitter in the last couple months. He's been our worst player besides Carlos Vargas, but even when you're a bad player, you can still be a hero. I mean, just ask Donovan Solano. He was terrible at the beginning of the year and then got better. 3-2 pitch and take strike 3 looking. Are we surprised? No, we're not. 2 away. Dylan can't do it. You know, it's just one of those guys. If you've been on a slump for 2 months, it's going to take a hell of a lot. You know, he would have been better off bunting to try to get us to win. All right. Good vibes only. And a guy that is 0 for 4 with 3 Ks, but he can get an RBI single to win the game or a home run. Let's go, Eugenio Suarez. Good vibes only. Come on, Gino. You haven't had a really good game today, but you can make up for it with 1 swing here. Let's go. Bottom of the 10th. We're tied up at 3. We got a runner at 3rd. Come on, Gino. First pitch. And Gino pops up and flies out to left, and that is out number 3. Fucking wasted opportunity there. Unbelievable. Now we're going to have to go into extras, which I predicted that would happen, and here we are. All right, now we got to go to the top of the 11th, and we'll see who ends up winning this game. It feels like the winner will be in the 11th or 12th inning, and hopefully it'll be us. But missed opportunity there, especially with Master Boney at 3rd. Ay. What a game. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us increase our numbers to the best of our ability. I mean, we've already gained, 35, 40 subs. We've already hit a pretty good number on the dono train. But again, anyone that's in the building, smash that like button for your boy. It would be greatly appreciated. Gain another sub. 61 to go to hit 21,400. Let's go, baby. Let's see who's up next here for the White Sox. And Jackson Kowar is coming in, and that might be disaster. And Hollywood Josh Rojas, former Seattle Mariners, pinch hitting. Let me get the photos synced up here. And Kowar gave up a home run to Luis Robert Jr. recently, so I don't know how confident I feel with him, but we're running out of pitchers. We're in extras now, so. All right, Kowar on the mound. And former Seattle Mariners second baseman and third baseman Hollywood Josh Rojas pinch hitting in the box. Top of the 11th with a gross runner at 2nd, and we're knotted up at 3. Gotta win this one. Gotta fucking win this one. And then we got Castillo, Evans, and Wu against Rasmussen, Boyle, and Hauser for the Tampa Bay Rays. And obviously Randy going against his former team. He'll be electric in that series. Oh, they're going to go with Teal over Rojas. They just made a last-minute substitution there. All right, Kowar on the mound. Kyle Teal substituting for Rojas. First pitch from Kowar to Teal. 5 miles off the plate, 1-0 count. Come on, Jackson. 1-0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Kowar to Teal. Jesus Christ, man. If we lose this game just based off fucking Kowar being an incredibly wild pitcher, this is going to be soul-crushing. Come on now. 2-0 pitch. Fouled off. Low and in the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at 2nd and no outs. We're knotted up at 3. And obviously, this is going to be one that we have to grind it out. Let him know, Jerry. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Takes literally 1 second to hit that like button or to sub, like the stream, chat, or show some love with the dono. 2-1 pitch, fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Kowar to Teal. Top of the 11th, runner at second, 3-3 tie. Kowar on the mound, and Teal in the box. Come on, Jackson. 2-2 pitch, in play, and flied out to left. 1 away. There we go. Flying Monk with a tour. Every dollar counts. Stacks. Racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. Next up is Michael A. Taylor. Good defense there by Randy. We haven't been able to say that all year, but it seems like he's been hustling a hell of a lot more lately, which is good to see. Next up, 1 for 4 with a run, RBI, and 2 Ks. Right fielder Michael A. Taylor. First pitch from Jackson Kowar. Fouls it off high and inside with a 4-seam fastball. 99 miles an hour by Jackson. 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Low and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Kowar to Taylor. Come on, Mariners. Gained another sub. 60 to go to be able to hit 21,400. 0-2 pitch. Fouled off right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Kowar to Taylor. Top of the 11th. Global broadcast on MLB Network. 3-3 tie. And again, if pitching was a little bit better late with our bullpen, we would have won. But again, a controversial call that hit the bat knob that they decided to say it hit the batter. And next batter after that ended up getting an RBI to give them the 3-2 lead. But then we ended up getting a little karma back off a wild pitch. And, a wild throw, to first that ended up scoring our ghost runner from second. And we're sitting at a 3-3 tie. So, karma does exist. And again, this should have been a game that we already would have won, but I guess the sports gods have a knack for the dramatics, especially when we're trying to win the series and get a sweep. 0-2 pitch in play, and Michael A. Taylor fouls out to first, 2 away. Flying Monk with a 5er, appreciate you. Stacks, racks with a little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Next up for Jackson Kowar, leading off, DHing Mike Talkman. First pitch, takes a strike looking outside of the zone. Should have been called a ball, but called strike. Overall, the umps have been good in this series, much better than when we were on the road in the Bronx against the Yankees, which was probably the worst. But again, you're going to get a couple, missed calls here and there, but overall, the umps have been good in this series. 0-1 pitch in play. And Talkman flies out to center. Julio is there, and that is out number 3. And this is where we're going to win the game right here. Leading off for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 11th inning. 1 for 2 with 2 walks, Jorge Polanco. Batting second, 1 for 4 with 3 Ks, Mitch Garver. And batting third, 0 for 4 with a K, Dominic Canzone. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. And we gained 5 more subs. Just like that. There we go. 65 plus subs on this stream alone between today and yesterday. It's been, 80? 80 plus? Let's go. And shout out to all of our contributors on the channel. Monkey Kung Fu, obviously early in the stream, wanted to make sure that we hit the goal. Our initial goal will always be 100 likes and 100 on the Dodo train. And obviously we're taking all of the subs on the channel in the last 2 days, and we appreciate it. Zaytoven with a 5er, first-time donator to the channel. Chris with a 5er, first-time donator to the channel. Jordan, a regular, big Reds fan. contributing with a $5, and Flying Monk here late with a $2 and a $5. Appreciate you guys very, very much. All right, come on, Polo. Bottom of the 11th with a ghost runner at second. And again, we don't even need a home run to win the game. We just need a hard hit ball, for an RBI to win 4-3. First pitch from Isert to Polo, fouls it off right down the middle, 0-1 count. And we can definitely, get some, hits on Isert. It's not like he is untouchable. First pitch, fouled off right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away, 1 ball and 1 strike from Isert to Polo. Bottom of the 11th with a runner at second. Global broadcast on MLB Network. We're knotted up at 3. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes from Isert to Polo. Flying Monk, he said, Megan Fox thumbs. $2 holla. Eli with a tenner. Let's go, baby. Bottom of the 11th with a runner at second. We're knotted up at 3. We've already won the series, winning the first 2 games, but we're looking for the sweep. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and down goes Polo. 1 away. Jorge, it could have been you. And now we're going to have to hope that we can get something here from the last 2 individuals. Next up is Mitch Garver. On deck, Dominic Canzone. Come on, Mariners. Got to find a way to win in the 11th or the 12th. And Garver is intentionally walked. Make it make sense. We're treating Mitch Garver like he's Cal Raleigh. All right. Next up is Dominic Canzone. Are they banking on Dom getting a double play and they're getting out of this inning? I hope Dom just fucking crushes this motherfucker 450 plus, and then we end up winning 6-3. If you're going to walk Garver to get to Dom, okay. I know he's not, I know he's 0 for 4, but that doesn't mean he's going to finish 0 for 5. Come on, Dom. Make him pay. First pitch from Isert to Dominic Canzone. Takes a strike swinging. 0-1 count. Come on, baby. 0-1 pitch. Low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Isert to Canzone. 1-1 pitch, low and away. Is Isert starting to have a meltdown? 2 balls and 1 strike with runners at first and second and 1 out. We're knotted up at 3. Obviously a home run would be the most dramatic way to win, with the walk-off. But again, if we can just get an RBI single and win 4-3, we're good with that. Yeah, but again, it's not impossible for lefties to hit lefties. I mean, it's like, would you rather have Dylan Moore come in as a righty going against a left-handed pitcher and thinking that's going to be more successful? Hell no. So again, I feel it's one of those things that's been kind of brainwashed into fans and players and coaches. It definitely, you would assume it's a little bit tougher, but it's still doable. Here we go, Dom! Go, go, go! Hey, you said, hey, lefties on lefties, it's hard to get a hit. Apparently it's not. And there we go. Dominic Canzone singles to right. Eugenio Suarez scores. Mariners win. Mariners win. Mariners win. Fuck yeah. And just like I said, oh, lefties on lefties, it's tough. Is it? You know, it's something that's been brainwashed into people thinking that a lefty pitcher can get a lefty batter out. And it's the opposite. If you end up bringing a guy like Dylan Moore in, he's not going to get a fucking hit. And again, Dom ends up being the hero, and we get the RBI single that we needed. Let's fucking go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. You know, fuck all this lefty on lefty shit, righty on righty, acting like it's fucking impossible to get a hit on a guy that, you know, pitches and hits in the same hand. It's ridiculous. And nice job by Dom to prove that you can still win games going against a lefty pitcher as a left-handed hitter. Nice job, Dom. You're the fucking man. Make him pay for walking Garver to get to you. Nice job. Trident's up. Let's go fucking Evs. Make him fucking pay. Big win. Big win. And when the Mariners win, what do? We fucking dance. Mariners win. Mariners win. Mariners win. Fuck yeah. Unbelievable. Let's fucking go, man. That one feels good. That one feels really good. I mean, we've had a lot of back and forth. You know, obviously the review that hit the bat knob and, you know, they didn't reverse the call. Next batter gets an RBI. We get down 3-2. We go for a bunt. They have an overthrow to first. We end up getting karma to give us the tie. And then, you know, you decide to walk Garver to get to Dom because they have a left-handed pitcher, thinking that it's going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy. Not so fast. And again, it shows you lefties can hit lefties. Righties can hit righties. You know, this whole concept of, oh, we have to bring in a righty if it's a lefty or a lefty because it's a righty is utter bullshit. It really is. You know, again, they want to make you believe that it's impossible to be able to get a hit based on a guy that pitches and hits in the same hand, but it's far from true. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Let's go. And anything I can get photo-wise, you let me know. And I appreciate you. Huge win. Big sweep. Only 1.5 back now of the Houston Astros. Let's go. Let's go. And I'm not sure if this is what you mean, Eli, and whatnot, but you let me know if there's something that you want to see. I'm not sure if that's what you mean, you know, based on, you know, the Lord of the Rings and whatnot with the Gondor. That's the only thing that I know that links to that, but you let me know. Appreciate you guys very, very much. Oh, man, what a fucking game, dude. And then we got some good preseason football. You got a few games, obviously, here tonight, and you got the Hawks and the Raiders. Pete Carroll coming back to town later tonight. And, yeah, it's preseason football, but for anyone that loves football, it's always exciting to be able to watch, you know, at least some of the backups and the rookies do their thing. Kevin with a tour. Appreciate you. Stacks. Rax with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Let's go. Let me know if there's anything that you want to see photo-wise of your favorite player. I got you. Yeah, I got to take I already took the pup on 2 walks already, but we'll definitely have a good victory walk at some point. Definitely going to eat a little bit of lunch and enjoy this one. This one was amazing. And again, we ended up gaining a pretty strong following just yesterday and today, and we gained another sub. So between 2 days, we gained about 80 subs, which is not normal. Normally it's about 5 to 15 per day. So we'll definitely take that. Now we're at 21,346, and we just hit 21,300 like yesterday. So let's go. Shout out to all the people that like, sub, donated, commented, shared. And I am your number one source for Seattle Mariner baseball, every single game throughout the year. And again, we got the Tampa Bay Rays starting tomorrow at home, and it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a challenge like this White Sox series was. And, Randy gets to go against his former team. So I expect some pretty good excitement from him, as the rest of the squad as well. Pretty incredible. Yeah, but Cal didn't do anything today. I mean, the last, couple games, Cal really hasn't done a whole lot. But anything else I can get photo-wise, let me know, and I got you. Shout out to Monkey Kung Fu, Zaytoven, Chris, Jordan, Flying Monk, Eli, and Kevin. Appreciate you guys very, very much. And obviously, Monkey Kung Fu got the party started early, which is great. Zaytoven with his first dono to the channel. Chris with his first dono to the channel. Jordan is an OG to the channel, big Reds fan. Flying Monk always coming through and showing love. Tour driver and another tour. And then Eli, the OG in the building as well. Appreciate you guys very, very much. Anything else that I can get photo-wise, let me know. And nice job all day. Again, it's always going to be a nice team effort, and again, it's nice to be able to have someone I can count on a regular basis, which used to be captain, but obviously after his move and he got a new job, not able to come through on a regular basis like he used to. So it's nice to be able to have someone step in. I don't even need to coach them up on what to say or what to do. You've already went above and beyond anyone else who's been a lead mod for my channel. And I do appreciate that very, very much. So. And then let's go tomorrow to look at the schedule so we have the correct time and whatnot. Fantastic victory, maybe. Make them pay. Final score, Seattle Mariners 4, White Sox 3 and 11. Beautiful. And then we play tomorrow at 6:40 Pacific. So I'll be live at 6:35 Pacific. And it'll be Rasmussen, who's a good pitcher, 9-5 versus Luis Castillo, 8-6. So it should be a pitcher's duel, you would think, going into the matchup. And hopefully the bats will come alive. So, wow. Incredible. Again, fantastic victory, and you just never know, who's going to be a big hero in the matchup. It could literally be anyone 1 through 9, except for maybe a guy like Dylan Moore, but that's obviously something that we've already stated already. And now with that victory, we're only 1.5 back. Astros have the day off. They're 64-51. Now we're 10 games above 500 for the first time, and we're 63-53, 1.5 back. So in just a few more games, we might be able to take the divisional lead. So this one feels really, really good. Well, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Shout out to all the people that liked, sub, donated, commented, shared. Shout out to All Day for always doing a great job every single stream, and all of the other regulars coming through and showing love as well. I appreciate you guys. Monkey Kung Fu, Zaytoven, Chris, Jordan, Flying Monk, Eli, shout out for you guys as well with the Dono Train and all the new subs that we acquired. And again, a very high amount, about 80 plus within the last 2 days. And again, shout out to every single person, either being a Mariner fan or not. This channel is definitely going in the right direction, and I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Final score, Seattle Mariners 4, White Sox 3 and 11. Tridents up, Mariners win, and I'm out. Go M's.